Hello. Welcome everyone to the second round of the FTX Crypto Cup. This is your host Sagar Shah and a very warm welcome to everyone. The big news today is that we have Pragnananda taking on Anish Giri. And guys, it's going to be an epic encounter. The game has already started. So without any further ado, let's get it rolling. E4 by Pragg, E5 by Anish, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, Rui Lopez on the board, Knight to F6 and D3 played. Now, D3 variation of the Rui Lopez is a very interesting one. We'll talk more about it. You can also play it on the next move, like you can castle, Bishop E7 and D3. Then the bishop is already sort of put there on that square. But he played first D3 and Anish decided to develop his bishop on C5. So C3, Pragg wants to play D4 at the right time. Castles, and D5. Anish playing really quite aggressively. He has pushed his pawn to the center of the board. And generally, it's not an easy sort of a strategy, because if you take, then the E5 pawn is weak. Like you take here and then the E5 pawn is hanging. So Anish has sacrificed, but maybe he wants to take here with the queen. That is his idea. So perhaps that is what he is planning for. And guys, yesterday Pragnananda beat Alireza Firuza. So right now he is one of the leaders of the tournament, but you can see how Pragnananda is thinking for his move. It seems like Anish's opening has come as a surprise to the youngster. Let's quickly check on our chess-based board. How many times has this happened before? So E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, A6, Bishop A4, Knight F6, D3, Bishop C5, C3, castles, and now D5. Only 22 games played. So that is something which is not played very often, and that's the reason why Pragnananda is a bit surprised. But Diach, who is one of the talented Romanian players, has played it before. Let's see how Pragg deals with it. And has Pragg responded until now or not? Yes, he has. He has played the move Queen to E2. And Pragg is telling Anish, no Anish, I know you've played a novelty. Novelty, you played something which is offbeat, not many times. And I know that you would have prepared against E takes D5 because that's the most natural move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this normal move here and we'll have a game. And I think that if we have a game, I am a better player than you and I'll try to outplay you. That is the philosophy with which Pragg is playing this. Okay, now we have a structure, nice here. So one difference is this pawn on C3 and the black knight on C6. Who do you think is standing better, this knight or this pawn, according to you? The pawn is much better placed than the knight, because the knight cannot jump to these two squares. The pawn is kind of dominating it, and that's the reason why C3 has been played here. I mean, C3 generally dominates this knight, so the knight on C6 is not so well placed. Pragg goes bishop G5, pinning the knight here on F6. Now, what does Anish do? You can look at Pragg there. He's looking like a gangster there, very confident, just swiveling in his chair there. Anish, of course, with his Optiver. And also, Anish puts these headphones which are like the earplugs, not the headphones, which come above your ears. And look at this, Anish, pehli hi mauke milte hi, he goes knight d8. He's like, I don't like my knight here. I want to put my knight here on e6 and attack your bishop. That's why knight d8. What a cool move by Anish Giri. Absolutely love it. And you see, that is how these top players are. You might think to yourself, okay, Pragnananda is very strong, he's playing very well. But when players like Anish Giri make moves like knight d8, with the idea of knight e6, attacking the bishop, also looking here, it suddenly starts to get very dangerous. Vaibhav says, who is winning? For now, it seems like equal. Out of the opening, we are just on move number 10. But I already think black is having a very comfortable position. Because how do you meet this move knight e6? It will attack your bishop. It will also attack the f4 square. Not at all easy. Look, Pragg, yeah. Do we have like, I think if I do this, that would be much better. Then I have both the players in the frame. Let's also get Magnus Carlsen here and Hans Niemann. He's facing Hans Niemann today, another young talent. So in this way, we have 4 players. And look at Pragg. He goes bishop to h4. Very interesting. Okay, I have a Okay, guys, I think we are back. Very sorry for that lag, and we and I think we should be back. Apologies for. Guys, I think I guess there was some problem there, but should be fixed. I don't know why. Well, all of a sudden, my actual mic is not working, and aha. Okay, guys, how is this sound? I guess it would be very bad because I'm using another mic, but my actual mic is not working. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, it's not good. I know. I know. Okay, till this gets fixed, let me just go on with this. So what happened was, guys, and I'll try to fix it somehow, is that Anish went 96, and the reason why 95 is a bad move is because of knight f4 hitting the queen, and then the knight is hanging. So you can't save it. So that's the reason why Pragg went bishop to g3. Now he's put his bishop here and he stopped knight f4. People are saying this is better than the previous one. नहीं भाई, रोड से तो better नहीं है ये sound. But somehow this mic just stopped working. I think what happened today was it was raining heavily and I had this bag with me which had all these gadgets and somehow it all got wet. And yeah, that's the thing about electronic gadgets. You have to take care of them very carefully. Okay, anyway. So knight e5 is possible still, but this time Anish has a new trap in mind. Can you guys tell me what is the move that Anish has prepared here? What is the move? Grim Fandango says, Sagar sir, keep 2 of everything except wife and family. Okay. Sure. Very nice. Thank you for all the advice that you guys give me. Without you guys, I would have been lost in my life. Surya Prakash, thank you so much for becoming supporter of Indian chess. Gukesh won? Really? Wow, that's amazing. And by the way, the right move has been found by so many of you because, guys, as always, LPDO is the thing. The bishop here is loose, and so you move your knight, attack the bishop, also attacking here. It's a double attack and black is winning. So the right move is given by Akshaj Patil, Karan Shah, Arun Kumar, Mayank Yadav, Chandan Nagar, Prashant Kumar, Captain Gaming, Madhesh Kumar, Vibhor and Saurabh Kumar. Well done, guys. So Pragg goes for first knight bd2, knight h5, b4. Okay, very interesting. Chess, I think he wants to stop knight c5. Maybe he's looking at bishop e5 ideas, but okay, knight e5, something like that, but nothing is working for now because if bishop e5 he takes, then I think take and knight f4 and e5 would hang, and if he plays with the knight, then there is knight g3 hanging. So that's the reason why it seems like Pragnananda is in a clearly worse position, but we have seen Pragnananda fighting so hard and it's very difficult to beat him. By the way, guys, we reached yesterday's aim of 992k and our aim today is to reach 993k. So let's keep moving towards our aim of 1 million subscribers. We are just 8,000 people away from it. Queen e3 on the board. So now the knight has come here and queen comes up to e3. Keeping an eye here, Anish has a good position. How does Anish continue? I think he should continue with simple development, maybe with b5 and then putting his bishop on b7. That looks like a very simple idea for a player of Anish's caliber. Also with b5, he takes away the c4 square from his opponent's knight. So that looks like a good one. Plays b5 on the board and he's attacked this bishop. I'm also very interested to follow the match between Hans Niemann and Magnus Carlsen. Niemann is like one of the biggest talents of US chess. I would say like Gukesh, Pragnananda, Arjun, Nihal, all of these players are to India. Neiman is to US, and he has a nice position against Magnus. You will see he has the bishop pair, queen well placed, rook on the open file. So nice one. Gukesh is playing in the Turkish league, correct? But is his game live now? We can look at it in the break as well. I think it could be. I don't see his game, but perhaps we can figure out somewhere to look at it. Um, we'll see. If anyone knows where to watch it, let me know. We'll try to look at it. Ah, yes, I have. It's on live.chessbase.com. Sometimes Chessbase has things which no other website has, and that's very cool. Gukesh versus Aryan. No, he's played with Aryan Gholami, who is rated what? Is it true his opponent was 1300 rated today? I don't believe it. I'll try to show you the game later. Looks something is wrong with the rating. Can't be 1300. Okay, going back to the game of Pragnananda versus Anish Giri. After queen e3 b5, look at Pragg's next move. Bishop h4. He is provoking Anish in some way. He's telling Anish, I'm attacking your queen. You can't go g5. My knight and bishop both control that square. You can't take my bishop because I'm attacking your queen. Your queen has to move. But where exactly will you move your queen? If you are going to play f6 here, then my bishop will go back and give you a check. At least for that purpose, I have won some kind of a tempo. No, he's 2507. Ah, okay. So, so today Gukesh won another game with a 2500 player. Huh? It's awesome. Okay, bishop h4 now. Where does Anish move his? Guys, I'm trying to fix the audio if I can, because generally I have no clue on how this is fixed, but ऐसा फूक फूक मारने से जनरली सब चलने लगता है, तो hopefully this will also work. And Anish is taking a lot of time. If you see, he's down to 5 minutes 30 seconds. Pragg has 8 minutes. Let me see if this is fixed. And कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Okay, for now, let's just focus, and maybe in the break I can try to figure out. And Anish has played his move. He's gone back to f6. I think Anish did not like the fact that f6 allowed this check, and so he wanted to be more precise there, and so he went knight f6. And maybe his point is that if you now go bishop b3, he wants to strike with a5. That is what he wants to do, perhaps. That's the reason why he's played there, and he wants to strike. You know, this a5 strike is such a typical strike because you want to attack this queen side. Also, if white ever takes, then after rook a5, the pawns are isolated, they are separated from each other. And he goes bishop b3, but Anish plays knight to g6. Wow, this seems like Pragg has made a comeback already in this game. Because knight g6, he can come back to g3, but maybe he can even take, and then perhaps he wants this square for his knight. He's not getting it for now. So one idea can be rook e1, knight f1, knight g3, but black is way faster. So you can start your play on the queen side with a4. That could be a plan. Silencer. Now this. When I started the stream, it was working. But as the stream went on, it seems to have just completely spoiled itself. Wait, I will try to improve this one by putting a filter in. There is a noise suppression, but somehow it's not working. Oh, Pragg went back bishop g3, and now Anish played c5. Actually, Pragg should have taken there. That was not a good move. Hair dryer. Hair dryer we don't have at home. Because I don't have hair. So there's no need to dry it. And let's quickly check what Magnus Carlsen is doing against Hans Niemann. Okay, pretty decent. Amruta is saying we have hair dryer. But where is the hair dryer, Amruta? Please tell me. Okay, here I think Hans Niemann is beginning to take over against Magnus Carlsen, which is insane because look at his pieces. Everyone's putting pressure on d3 and these two pawns are just moving forward here. This looks very dangerous for Magnus. Meanwhile, with c5, Anish has asked Pragnananda a very important question. Arey yaar, kya was? What is the logic of this music? B takes c5. So right now, Pragg is thinking very hard because c takes b4, c takes b4, bishop b4 could be a threat, and also how to meet. There could also be ideas of c4. So Anish looking very confident, as you can see there. He is looking here and there, and a4 played by Pragg. What a cool move by Pragnananda. He says that if you take, then I'll take here, and if you take, I have managed to liquidate at least a few things, and with knight c4 I am putting pressure here. If you remember the last time Anish and Pragg played with each other, it was at the Oslo Esports Cup, like this, a 4-game match, and somehow Pragg had managed to beat Anish from a completely lost position. So Pragg definitely puts a lot of pressure on Anish as a player, and I think it will be a big test for Anish Giri today, whether he is able to beat Pragg or not. For now, he started off very well. He is better. Chessable Masters. Maybe Chessable Masters. I mean, there was this 4 games, no? He played, and actually Pragg, knight c4. and he's now attacking. So actually Anish is a piece pawn up now, but there is pressure here, and already Pragg is starting to get active. But bishop c5 is a good move, hitting the queen, and maybe he wants to put his bishop on d4. Yeah, there's a lot of background noise. I can understand. I can imagine. And I'm very sorry for this bad experience. It's like the people below my house wanted to celebrate Pragg's victory. And Amruta is now calling me. Let me see what Amruta has to offer me as an advice. Hello? कौन सा?
जैसा भी है तो बोलेंगे गेम पे फोकस।
हाँ ठीक है। गाइस अगर शुरू हो गया तो अमृता ओपी हो जाए, ठीक है। अगर शुरू नहीं हुआ तो got another mic here, Blue Yeti wala. But I feel that the problem somewhere is with my okay, anyway, Queen E1 played by Pragg. Pragg is also listening to something, huh? Pragg is like, क्या चल रहा है भाई? बाहर से आवाज आ रहा है इतना. But Anish now with 2 minutes 57 seconds trying to figure out what to do. Maybe does he repeat? Of course he won't repeat. He's a pawn up, but he has to figure out how to defend. Of course bishop d4 saves it, but then after take bishop t6 and that is trouble. So you can't play bishop d4 yet. So that is out of question. दोस्तों ये आवाज कैसा है? ये बढ़िया है कि नहीं? Is this good? Maybe this is very good or not. Please let me know in the chat. भाई ये आवाज बेटर है कि नहीं? If this is better, then अमृता ओपी हो जाए. अरे वेरी गुड, वेरी 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 गुड. क्या बात है अमृता जी. इसीलिए तो वी आर मिसिंग यू सो मच. क्या ही. नाइट h5 खेला गया है मूव एंड अटैकिंग द बिशप. नाइट ऑन f4. एवरीवन अमृता के हम बोल सकते हैं अमृता कम बैक करके. बिशप टेक्स e5 क्यों नहीं मार सकते दोस्तों? बिशप टेक्स e5, व्हाट इज द आइडिया? बिकॉज 3 डिफेंडर है ना. ओ ही टेक्स विद द नाइट, नाइट f e5 एंड गाइस ज्यादा खुश नहीं होता है, कभी भी कुछ भी बंद हो सकता है. बट नाइट टेक्स g6 अटैकिंग द क्वीन. नाउ व्हाट्स हैपनिंग? Super complicated. He must take here, then he will take here. So now, so what happened was he took knight f e5, and if he had taken with this knight, then the bishop would have taken and white is fine. So he took here, and now of course if you take back you will lose a piece, correct? So he took an intermediate move attacking the queen, and now Anish is thinking, but what is Anish thinking exactly? Because he must take the knight, right? What else can he do? Is Anish thinking of moving the queen somewhere, like queen here? But then Pragg will simply take on g3. So I don't see the point why Anish is thinking. Is he thinking whether he should take with the f pawn to open this up? Maybe. Volume kam kar do? Is it too loud? Okay, maybe now it's better. He takes hg, and now bishop to e6. But in this, Pragg seems to have sort of good chances to hold, I feel, because his position is not so bad. Also, material is equal. He has to figure out a way to control the d5 square, and he has played knight e3. If Pragg can somehow get his knight to d5 like bishop here controlling this, he should be better. Like maybe his idea is bishop c6, bishop d5. That could be one of his ideas here, guys. Queen g5 played on the board, and guys the threat is bishop takes e3, queen takes e3, queen takes e3, fe3. Jabki ye pawns would be horrible. Like for example rook c1. Look at this. These pawns are so bad. They look so ugly. Double isolated pawns. So वो नहीं खेल सकते. Oh, Pragg goes bishop c6. Pragg is like, I'm attacking your rook here, and if you move your rook like this, then I will maybe attack bishop b7 and attack here. Eventually, I want to get my knight to d5. Look at how Pragnananda is looking at that on the screen. Look at his eyes. Just looking like this, you know. Can't even do like him. And Anish under some pressure, because Anish knows he's better. The thing about Anish is that he clearly understands that certain positions are better for him, but he's not able to sort of get an advantage here. I mean, his advantage is reduced and he's down to 28 seconds. Carlsen is losing with white, correct, against Niemann. That's a huge thing. Rook c8 now attacking the bishop. One more idea could be bishop d5 now. Because guys, देखो ये मारा, I can take. The bishop is well placed and a6 is hanging. So by that respect, I think Pragg should be able to draw this. So rook c8, and now what does Anish do here? I mean Pragg do here. Pragg's move. 1 minute, 1 hour. Ooh, he goes bishop b7. Nice move. 1 minute 30 seconds in hand. He has now 1 minute 40 seconds. Anish Giri is 26 seconds. Attacks the rook and also the pawn on a6. And there we have a result. Hans Niemann has beaten Magnus Carlsen. Wow. What a huge result. And he just moves away. That means now bishop e3 taken. Can we take bishop c8? No, bishop c8 is a big mistake. Guys, can you find the winning move here? Why is this a big mistake? Because of bishop d2. Yes, Naman Jain, you are right. Siddharth Meena attacking the queen and next move picking this up. That's the reason why this is a good move. So now Pragg cannot take here because bishop d2 will end the game. He must play queen e3. And he's taken queen e3, f e3. Great move, great chess. Rook c3 attacking here, but now just rook takes a6. He plays rook e1. And now the bishop b7, but now you can take, but the two rooks are coming in, so Pragg has to be careful. But what Pragg can do, guys, is like, let's say if he comes here, he can just put his bishop back here and defend this. Yeah, my mic is low, I understand, but there is sound from outside also, so I don't know how exactly to manage this. Rook b4 played by Anish. He's putting pressure. I think Anish also knows that he's lost his advantage and this game should end in a draw, which is actually a great result for Pragg. By the way, guys, in the pinned message and in the description is a link for you to get your free crypto key, which is free and will give you access to many perks. In the description is written you will get some Chess 24 membership. You will also get access to play certain events and so on. So you can do it, and if you download it, if enough people download it, it will result in one student getting 1,50,000 scholarship, which is known as the FTX Pragg scholarship. So please do consider downloading that, and I think a lot of you have done it yesterday, so thank you so much for that. Now g5 played in the position, so already it seems like this is heading towards a draw. But look at this move, guys. Bishop d3 and the rook moves, and it would have been a checkmate here unless, I mean, if there was no bishop, if the rook was on a3, say for example here, and then he is careless and he plays the move bishop d7 or something, then I think after bishop d3, oh, then you have rook e8. Okay, anyway, Pragg is playing bishop c8, and I think that's just a draw offer to Anish Giri, which he should accept. I think it's a drawn position. Hello. Hello. This takes check, and they agreed to a draw. Wow. Pragnananda there doing it in style, gets a draw in a position that was quite dangerous for him. So that's a good result for him. Liam and Firuza have drawn. Levon Aronian has beaten Duda. So that's a big result. And Niemann has won against Magnus Carlsen. So that we'll go through the game of Niemann, how he beat Magnus, but let's first update the scores here. Pragnananda beating Anish Giri is a very nice result. Carlsen losing to Niemann, big result there. Aronian beating Duda, and Firuza versus Liam is a draw. Yeah, there we have it. All good. Everything's fine. And guys, oh sorry, Pragg did not win. What am I doing? He drew, of course. but it seemed like a win for him because he was clearly worse. Okay, it's a draw there. And now it's time to fix the microphone time. And also for you guys, you have some time to try and I think it's this moisture which has gone in and has spoiled my microphone. यार बारिश में कभी कभी भीगना महंगा पड़ सकता है. Psychological victory. Let me see. Put it in rice. No. See, now my sound is okay because there's sound below. What can I do about them? Just playing some kind of dhol. Yeah, also let's look at Gukesh game. So I can use the dryer. 1 minute. Let me see. Amruta, where's the dryer? Gukesh game देखना है आप लोगों को. Okay, let's look at Gukesh's game. Can you only see? I'll put up Gukesh's game. So Gukesh here, maybe this should work. There we have it. Gukesh versus Aryan Gholami. Let's do replay training and try to guess the moves of Gukesh. I don't think his opponent was 1314. He was 2500. Magnus Niemann भी देखना है. I think sound is good. No need of dryer. We don't know how it can impact and damage. ऐसे अमृता ने लिखा है. Let's try. दोस्तों हेयर ड्रायर मिल चुका है. बढ़िया आ रही है आवाज. अभी लोग क्या यार, आप लोग मेरे को बहुत तंग करते हो. देखते. डोंट यूज ड्रायर, इट डैमेजेस द माइक्रोफोन. ठीक है, फिर नहीं करते. ठीक है, तो नहीं करते हैं दोस्तों. साउंड इज रियली गुड. दोस्तों अभी प्लीज अच्छे से बोलना. साउंड इज ओके. So Gukesh played the first move e4. Opponent played c6. Gukesh played d4, d5. Knight to c3. मार दिया जाए, नाइट से मार दिया जाए. नाइट f6 तो बोला नाइट आगे आ रहा है, अपुन मारेगा. मारा, पॉन टेक्स। अभी देखो तुम्हारा स्ट्रक्चर खराब हो गया है, फुल ऑन बैड स्ट्रक्चर। सो बिशप c4 खेलेंगे अपन। आई वुड हैव प्लेड दिस मूव। व्हाट डिड गुकेश डू? c3। नाइस। बिशप रिचर्डसन जॉर्ज बोल रहा है जस्ट जॉइंड, प्लीज हैव कर्टिसी फॉर लेट मी। बिशप d6, बिशप d3, castles। नाउ चेक आने वाला है, सो वी हैव टू पुट नाइट ऑन e2 perhaps, just put knight here. He played queen c2, attacking this pawn here. Nice. He's attacked this pawn on h7. Check. Knight e2, h5. Very typical, very typical. गुकेश करता है कैसल्स। क्वीन c7 अटैकिंग h2, नॉर्मल मूव। खेलता है h3। फिर बिशप आ गया इधर। अभी अपने को बिशप एक्सचेंज करना है, एक बिशप तो, पर कैसे करेंगे? What move do you suggest, guys? I want to play something, but I don't want to play bishop f5, I think, because I can taking it possible. नहीं, मार मार के रुकी टू मर रहा है, करेक्ट, सो कांट डू दैट। So he went c4. Ooh, he pushed his pawn. Knight a6, looking to come here. a3, I believe, stopping it. Queen d7, threatening to sack here. But अब bishop f4 कर सकते हैं ना? But then take and then d4 will hang. So like bishop f4, bishop takes, knight takes, and then queen takes d4 will hang. So he played f4. f5, because now he realized that this is not a good idea. So after take, queen takes, the bishop is blocked. But even here, I mean, I don't think there's anything, right? Just rook f2 maybe just seems fine. So he played f4, f5, okay, knight g3, b4. Knight g3 ko maybe he would have gone just g6 and then my knight would do nothing there. Everything is safe. So he played b4. Bishop. Oh, he took here. Oh my god. Is it good or is it bad? So take, So he's just given up a piece. He should have a next move, which is good. I think b5 should be his idea. Yeah, he played b5. Okay, nice. Now the question is, how do you deal with this as Gukesh? Because his opponent wants to get the bishop here and then win some material. क्या करोगे? Because if I move the knight, then after bishop c4, I lose the rook. So very interesting sack, huh? I think d5 is one option for sure. But d5, he would take b takes c4. Yeah, a lot of you... You see, d5 takes... If I take bishop d5, maybe d5 is sort of forced. Because otherwise you are just going to lose material. Or you move your queen. Let's say you play rook e1, bishop takes c4, then move queen f3. That doesn't look good, like queen e6, pinning here. He played cb. The best move here is d5 according to the engine. Wow. Takes, queen d3, and white is better. Black has 3 pawns, but white is better. So he took d5, bishop takes. He took with the queen. And now Gukesh did not exchange. He went knight d4. And Gukesh is like, I'll keep the pieces on the board. a5, bishop b2, b4. But अब queen को यहाँ पे लेके, can we not launch an attack this way? That would be epic. He did it. Awesome. f6. Okay, now to attack. Maybe rook a d1. Just going here. He took. Queen takes would have been better, but he took with the rook. Rook f d1. Queen b7. Queen g6. Shall we go in? Oh man, I'm guessing all the best moves in the position, it seems. He went rook d2. Queen a7. Bishop d4. Queen c7. Bishop f2. a4. So the black pawns are looking very dangerous. But Gukesh says, you can make a queen. I'm going to checkmate you here with rook d7. Rook e7. Queen f3, attacking the rook. Rook e8. Queen h5. And now queen c8. Queen takes f4 is a mistake. Can anyone tell why? I understand. Guys, why is this a mistake? Yes, intellectual Chirag, I like your move. Chinmay Kelaskar also. I think rook d8. Yep, rook d8 because e8 is already under pressure here. So b3 takes, and yeah, you're winning. So he played queen c8. Okay. How do you finish it off? Maybe bishop c5. Bishop c5 बढ़िया लग रहा है. चल. Bishop c5, attack the rook, and then rook d7. But he'll give rook e1 check, takes. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Bishop c5, तो queen c5 मर रहा है क्या? That is not good. But can you go bishop b6? Bishop b6 with the idea of rook d8. That could be interesting. He played rook d4. b3. Rook takes a4. Oh, was it that simple? Like rook d4 is just over, huh? He cannot defend this somehow, rook e4, because of perhaps rook d7 just getting in. When b3 takes b2, queen c1. Now rook e2 might be one of the ideas here. You have to play it carefully. क्या खेलेंगे अब? What do you think should be played? Yeah, rook e1 is a threat, correct. Did he play like king h2 here? King h2 looks like prophylaxis. Oh, he played king h2. Badhiya. Queen c2. Oof. I was actually thinking of rook b7 here because if you take rook b7, then queen takes e8 is hanging. But the main problem was rook b7. There was queen d1, I think. Queen d1. and then rook b7. But hey, there is check here, and I think why black is, so actually that could also have been played, huh? So here takes. Oh, the same thing happened. Check, rook f7, queen b3, rook e2, but bishop d4, take on b2, resign. Yeah, just game over. Even bishop takes g7 could have worked, but okay, anyway, who wants to get into that? Here. Yeah, and so Gukesh won this way, and let's go back to the game between Pragg and Anish. Game number 2 has begun. This time Anish White opens with knight f3, d5, g3, c5, bishop g2, knight f6, castles. Anish playing very steady chess. Pragg going d4. Ooh, interesting. Kind of reversed Benoni. d3, knight c6, e3, bishop e7. And what is Anish arguing here? Anish is saying that, look, first of all, I'm playing Benoni as white, so there I have an extra tempo. Secondly, you have wasted a move in the opening. Like generally in the Benoni, pawn is on e5, you have played it e6, so in that sense I should be slightly better here. Turkish league, I think you can follow on live.chessbase.com. It is live there. It is the website where Chessbase has their games live, and it's a pretty decent website, has all the details, so you can check it out. So e3, and now so Anish is thinking as of now what to play, and I think one of the ideas could be to take, and then b4 plan in the position. Yeah, Abdusattarov and Gukesh are in the same team, correct? Bishop e7 on the board. Let's have a quick look at what Magnus Carlsen, because once he is lost, I mean, this is amazing what Hans Niemann has managed to achieve. To beat Magnus in one game as well is not at all easy, and Niemann is just 18 years old. He's managed to beat Magnus. By the way, that game in which he beat Magnus was just like amazing, yeah. If you look here from the Blacks' perspective, Magnus thought that Niemann might take. Of course, it's just lost, because after take there's a check and the bishop is hanging. So he moved his king, which is a nice move. Bishop g4, knight e6, takes, queen d5, bishop f5, c4, pushed him back. King g8, king h7, double the rooks, queen g6, h5, h4, e6, bishop f8, g4. Wow, what a game, man. Just oof, oof. What chess by Neiman. Amazing. Amazing chess. Wow. क्या ही तोड़ा है वर्ल्ड चैंपियन को. Amazing. That was too good. Meanwhile, the game between Pragg and Anish has moved forward after e takes d4, c takes d4, knight a3 was played in the position. And now Pragg goes bishop to c5. Okay. Pragg defends his pawn here on d4. Maybe he wants to go knight d7 and e5. That could be his plan. Knight c2 can be met with a5, stopping any plans of b4. So this position, if we look at it carefully, it is all about black having more space and white having a lead in development. Sort of white is having that small edge. And so knight e5 is a cool move here played. And after take, knight d7, attacking the rook and defending the bishop. Rook goes back, and now Pragg goes rook e8. So he is preparing the move e5. But bishop d2 is played with the idea of b4, and Pragg instantly takes. And look at this move, rook b8. He plays it so quickly. I don't know how Pragg is making his move so fast. Is this all preparation or what? Can't be, no? Can't be prep. I mean, Pragg, 17 minutes. Look at Pragnananda on the screen, guys. What a look there. He has a look of the guy who knows the future. He knows what's going to happen. Should we quickly check on our reference board if this is played before? So I'm very, very surprised that he's playing so quickly. So knight f3, d5, g3, c5, bishop g2, bishop g2, knight f6, castles, e6, c4, d4, d3, knight c6, e3, bishop e7, takes, knight, pehle rook e1 maybe, castles, knight a3. Many games have happened here, close to 100 plus games. Bishop c5. Oh, Gukesh versus Injik. Preparation किया है. Maybe on this game. Injik Gukesh. But there's no move actually like bishop c5 के बाद. This position bishop c5 has been played only once. The other moves. It's very likely that Pragg might have known this game of Gukesh and had analyzed it. You know, these youngsters, they will be looking at the games of each other for sure, and then they would also be analyzing them. Ooh, and look at this move, guys. Rook b8, queen a4, and b6 played almost instantly once again by Pragg. Is Pragg bluffing here, or has he got it all under control? And look at Anish there. Anish is also saying the same thing as us. Is Pragnananda bluffing me? Because what is his plan if I snatch this pawn? What is Pragg's plan? Can anyone tell me in the chat? What is his idea? And if Pragg has analyzed this, I will be so impressed. I will be so impressed. What is his plan here? No, I mean, I also thought knight c5, but guys, after knight c5, here it's just lost because the rook is hanging. You can't play knight c5. You can't even go rook a8 because the bishop is here. Let me see if any of you have found this move. There is only Four guys: Tejas Sivan, Ishan Garg, Chinmay Kelaskar, Kalicharan Gajula, and Hirukesan TYS. Bishop B7. And guys, what a move this is. Just tremendous move. And you might think, what is happening after Bishop B7? And here's my next question to you. What do you do here? Try to think. And try to be careful. Let's see, what do you come up with? Actually, two moves are good. One is, I also felt Queen C7 like all of you here. But the right move is Knight C5. Again, absolutely insane. Because I'm attacking this bishop. Queen C7, the best move here is C5. And let's say you take with the knight. Then now bishop F4. So, okay, it's possible to take here, but then this, and the position is equal. But look at this idea now, guys. This is where I think if Pragg has analyzed this, it's unbelievable. What is the winning move here for black? Let's see how many of you can quickly find this. This one. Black to play. Anish took the pawn. Really? Did Anish take the pawn? Oh my god. And Pragg actually found that move. Rook e7. This time you guys are on the ball. The queen is trapped. The queen is trapped. It can't go here. There's the knight. It can't go here. There is a knight. It can't go here. There is a pawn. It's just completely trapped in the position. And Mahish, Moses, Muhammad, Taskinur, Adya, Giridhar, Chinmay, Deepmala, Lily, and Udit Agarwal. Well done, guys. Awesome. So great stuff there. And by the way, after bishop b7, which was also played pretty quickly by Pragnananda, let's have a look at the player cams and see Pragg focusing there. Anish actually moving out very quickly from there. He goes to queen a4. What bit of preparation, man. Insane. Thoroughly impressed by Pragnananda's play here. And you can see Anish there also looking. I think Anish somehow brings out the best in Pragg, yeah, every time. So let's say you can play knight c5 now, attacking the queen. But I think it's a question of being very accurate. What do you want to do? Do you want to go knight c5 when he would go back queen c2? Or do you want to take advantage of this? So let's say take, and go rook a8, attacking the queen. Now the queen can go to b3 to defend this, but then knight c5 gains an important tempo. And if you go queen c2, then I can think of picking this pawn up. So in this way, I think Pragg is just trying to figure out that perfect way of playing it. Should he start with knight c5? Should he start with taking here? Should he start with rook a8? There are all these questions that Pragg wants to get it absolutely right. He has 13 minutes 25 seconds on the clock. Anish Giri has 9 minutes 51 seconds here. Guys, I'm not going to flip the board. As I have mentioned before, in such tournaments where we have Anish versus an Indian player, we will keep the board as it is. We have done this in the past as well. And if it is something related to India, let's say the Olympiad or so on, I would have happily flipped. But here it's not going to do that. Let's just focus. I mean, it's just a matter of looking at it from the other side. What do you do here as black? Black to move. Oh, it takes on g2, king g2. and then rook a8 maybe. Let's have a look at the game of Magnus Carlsen versus. Ooh, this time Magnus seems to have done well out of the opening. He played his French. I think French is his opening for this tournament. Bishop b5, bishop d7, takes, bishop d3, bishop d6, e5, c5, takes, castles, bishop f3, queen f3, bishop e5, bishop c5. This is what has happened. Hey, but there is a tactical blow here, guys. Can you find it? Black to play. Can you find the tactical blow in this position? Yes, you can either start with bishop h2 or you can start with queen c7. Both look interesting. The reason for this is that after take, I can go queen c7 check and pick up this bishop. And if I start with queen here and you take here, then I can actually, I was thinking of taking here, king h1, queen e7, because if king h2, I have queen h4 check picking this up. I'm missing something. So take king h1, queen e7, and now not king h2, which would actually give black the advantage after queen h4 and queen c4, but a very important move here. By the way, bishop h2 rightly said by Piyush, Mahish, Ajay, Avinash, Manav, Sharvil, but try to find the move here. What is the best move here that white wins? Yes, absolutely right. And you guys are tremendous. G3 is the correct move and only G3 in the chat. Somabha, Prashant, Chinmay, Samihan, Ishprit, Divam, Razak, Arpit, Dharmik, Devashish. Well done, guys. H2 is hanging and this is lost. So you can't do that. What has Magnus done here? Actually, Magnus went somehow queen c7. Neiman took. He took with the queen. Queen e2, queen c7 back, g3, and now comes another nice little deflection. Bishop takes b2, because if you take with the queen, this is hanging. So Magnus turning on his magic here. Let's see how that works. Meanwhile, going back to Pragnananda's game, he has sort of lost his edge after takes rook a8, queen c2. He took the pawn, which looked good. Bishop b4. Now queen a8 check. King g1. He came to a4, a3. Knight b8 played. And I think this time it's Anish Giri's turn to fight back in the game. It's looking good for Pragg. It was looking good out of the opening, but now it seems like AG is back. And now knight c6 is Pragnananda's idea, but it's not really a huge threat. I like white's position. It seems roundabout even now. Yeah, somehow the rook doesn't look well placed here because a3 is no longer so weak. The bishop is protecting it. Rook to b1 played in the position. Vignesh asks a good question. If we take off the queens from the board, who is better? Very interesting question because I thought this would be weak, but since the bishop is here, it's not so weak. And whenever you take, I'll take back with the pawn. So I think with removing the queen, it should favor white, although it should be around equal there as well. Okay, time to maybe move the bishop here and attack this pawn on b6. The position is now around equal. 10 minutes for Pragnananda, 8 minutes for Anish Giri. So now maybe the idea is to take and play rook a2. That could be one plan. And Anish taking his time here. What do you think, guys, Anish would play? He's thinking. And guys, I want to just inform you of this small initiative that we have taken for this event. Oh, bishop d6, nice move. Attacking this pawn. So how it worked is, just so that you guys know, and many of you, that when we started the Chess Base India Foundation, that is the Help Chess Foundation, we wanted that people should contribute to help chess players in India. So there are many chess players in need of funds, but at the same time, it is completely understandable that there would be people, there would be corporates who would want certain benefits out of, supporting chess players. And for this purpose, we at Chessbase India wanted to be the bridge here. So what the companies could do is help chess players by giving an amount, and we could help in promoting something that they would do. And this is what we have done with FTX Crypto here. They would love if you, and by the way, it's not just that they are not giving anything, it's they, in this tournament there is a crypto key which is completely free that you can download with the links in the description. There's one link for non-US, that is India and all other countries, and one more link for US. And you can actually go there, download the app, or just from the website download your free crypto key. It will have a number and it will give you many perks. And if there are enough registrations, then 1,50,000 scholarship will be given to one chess player, a talented chess player, or we can give it to an amount to several players. And this will be done by Pragnananda, who readily agreed to be a part of this. So it's called the FTX Pragg scholarship, and we are very glad that this has happened. So if you guys would like to support it, you can just download it. It's free and it doesn't cost you anything. It can give you advantage. If you don't like it, you can always then delete it and so on. So I don't see it as something where I think it would really help. And it can also help you because there might be a tournament held later this week, and that access would be got from that key which you have downloaded. It's an NFT key. Okay, so rook b5 has been played in this position by Anish. Anish's move suddenly looking easier to play, like rook b1, queen b3, put pressure here, bishop is well positioned. Have you identified the talent to receive the AG scholarship? We are going to do it after this event. We are going to figure out how to do it. Maybe we'll have people send in the applications and then we will consult with Anish and give that scholarship as well. So we have right now the Anish Giri scholarship, which is 2 lakh rupees, which he gave for after winning the death match. He had his prize fund was 5 lakh, and he said he will give 2 lakhs to the Help Chess Foundation, which is amazing gesture by him. And we also couple of days ago gave a laptop to Pranav, who is India's latest GM, and it is that was worth rupees 1 lakh. So with all the help that we are receiving, with all the funds, we are making good use of it, helping different players, and I think it helps Indian chess in different ways. Which laptop? Lenovo Yoga 7. The reason for that laptop was Pranav wanted a touchpad because he plays a lot online. He also wanted to do analysis with a strong engine. And so Ashwin, who is like our tech, not our, but he's like a tech expert at Intel and he's an amazing person. He suggested this, he went through many options and came up with this. Bishop b4 has been played here. Actually, why didn't he go bishop c7, attacking the rook and the pawn? Because if he goes like rook c d7, you lose a pawn. And if you go rook c8, you still lose a pawn. So I'm a bit unsure as to why Anish did not go to bishop c7 here. It looked very natural. But maybe I think Anish did not like this look of takes and he felt that his bishop is slightly misplaced here. Maybe rook takes a3. He did not like this fact that he was losing this pawn. So he went back here. But now Pragg could make an instant draw sort of by playing knight a7. Look at this idea. The rook has to move. Let's say rook here. Then knight c6. And then come back and then knight a7 and so on. Aditya Bhopale, thank you so much for becoming booster of Indian chess. So Pragg wants to keep the game going, so he goes h6 and Anish goes queen e2. This is heating up, guys, and I think both sides have to be careful here. Pragnananda has to be careful because the rook can swing over, the queen can join in, the bishop can enter from this side if the knight moves, and it can become a nasty attack. Generally, you need 3 pieces to attack. He goes queen c8. Is Rupali doing some amazing work? If you look at ChessBase India clips, she's just uploaded one clip from Abu Dhabi of Nihal and many other players who are there. Man with sense says, just a disclaimer, guys, know what you are installing, know what is an NFT, then go ahead if you want to. Don't blindly install just to help chess. Can always directly contribute to grow help chess. Yeah, absolutely. But I can tell you, at least I have downloaded this and I have used it. So it is something where you just are going to okay, I mean, you sign up, so you are going to sign up there, but the NFT which you receive is basically free and you have a number and you can make use of that. You get a membership of, I think, just 24 for a month. So I think it's all very positive there. Queen c8. At least as far as I try not to mislead all of you, because many of the things that we are able to do is just because of you guys, and I take utmost care to make sure that that I do not land up into things which are bad for the viewers, because I think the trust that you guys have on ChessBase India and on us is very important to us. So at least when I suggest something, I want to make sure that it's useful to you guys. And yes, you should be aware of what you are downloading. That is important. Queen c8 played. Is how is Magnus doing, by the way? Oof. Magnus pawn up, completely better, has everything under control. King is coming in. Tuck, 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 tuck. Just going to win this. He's going to win this. Ankush Chatterjee says FTX is actually one of the better crypto exchanges who have good cash in hand and led by a great CEO. Okay. But still do check and know about what you're installing. Cool guys. Chat से हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ तो सीखने मिलता ही है, because let's say when 4,000 people are together, it is quite obvious that there are people with different interests, with different knowledge, with different skills. So you can always get the right sort of information many of the times. Okay, F4. Queen D7 played. Queen F3. Both sides playing carefully here. I think Anish had a chance here to maybe push H4, H5, gain more space. But he went F4. Maybe he wanted to stop E5, Queen D7, Queen F3. Yes, F6, E5 was on Pragg's radar, but now it's not coming. Sagar bhai, never heard from you regarding the originals match. Would love to hear your raw feelings regarding the event. Abhinav. क्या बताऊं, मतलब I also would have loved if that event got more time to breathe after it got over, but the Olympiad was there and I think we had planned it that way. We also learned that yes, the advantage was there that Anish was coming to India for the Olympiad, but the disadvantage was that immediately there was so many things happening that there was no time to sort of enjoy the event, the matches, the games that were played, the analysis. There's so much that happened. Couldn't even put up individual videos of the games that were played there. So I want to really sit down, write about it, talk about it, make videos, check out pictures. You know, there's so much that has happened. Rook e5 played. But I can only thing that I want to say is that we are very happy with how the event went. We are very pleased. There was this one aim which I think it became the main aim after a point, was that how to make chess spectator friendly for people who are there at the venue. And those 1,000 people who were there had the time of their life, you know, over there shouting, cheering, enjoying, listening to the commentary on the headphones, those LED walls. And I think it gave a new dimension to how chess can be sort of broadcasted at the venue over there. And I think it sort of set the rule, set the ball. So I just want to do more such things, but for now the first event we are happy. Of course the live stream could have been better. We could have had, you know, the live boards could have worked better, and there were many things that could have been done better, but at least this was okay. And by the way, they both are repeating, and it seems like a draw is very likely, because after knight c6, rook e2, already this bishop is sort of misplaced, like I'm winning a pawn and then you have to move the rook again. So Anish will not go for it. But I feel that Pragg might want to continue playing. But it seems risky for even Pragg to continue here. You can see how Pragnananda has stopped there and is thinking. Anmol Jain says, did you manage to recover the money you spent for buying Olympiad rights? Why did they charge you for spreading chess? Um, okay, I mean, in general, there are many facets to this. I mean, we can talk about it in detail and so on, because once I just give one point of view, it's not enough. But I think we got a commentary room, we had internet connection there, we were at the venue, there were many things that happened there. So I felt that the overall experience for us of the Olympiad was just great. It was amazing, it was fascinating. And yeah, they have drawn the game. So there, a draw between Pragg and Anish, and he moves out. It was cool. Um, let's go to here, this game, where Magnus is just completely in cruise mode. Resigns there, I think. No, he didn't resign, he just moved in. So I have a feeling that it was something really important for us to be a part of the Olympiad. It was something which is so good, so positive, such a big event happening. And regarding recovery of the amounts and stuff like that, I feel that there are certain things which are long term in nature, and we will at some point be able to make up. And I think we also have to invest in chess. That is an important thing uh, for us. So yeah, there are certain decisions which you have to take, and certain decisions which you, and yeah, this was one of them. Anyway, check. By the way, this is one very nice mating pattern which I just saw. Like here, let's say here, and he goes here, and then you go here, and let's say pawn push. This is a mate. Mahesh Jairam says, great job, Sagar Bhai. I attended the Olympiad on day 6. Would have been nice for a fan meet in Chennai maybe next time. The one thing which I regret, I would not say regret, but I'm a bit sad about, is the fact that I did not get a chance to meet people at the Olympiad. Like I hardly could meet anyone. Because the moment, I used to go in at 9 or 10 in the morning over there. Uh, and it used to end at 11 in the night, and I had no time to meet anyone. There were so many people who came all across the world, who are my good friends, and I just couldn't meet them. So the commentary part was really a big, I wouldn't say a hindrance, but I just couldn't meet anyone. I couldn't mingle with anyone, talk. On the rest day, I think there were other things to do, and everyone was preparing, so it was very tough. Score updates. Yeah, let's update the score also here. But right now, you see Levon Aronian under big trouble against Duda, and Levon is known as a big swindler. Yeah, by the way, Alireza beats Lekwang Liam, so that's a good result. And now with this game, you see the knight is a very strong piece. Levon has a lot of time, but his position is terrible. The match between Pragg and Anish is getting really heated up. Yeah, after 2 games, 1-1 draw. It's going to be exciting. I think it'll go to the tie breaks today. Carlsen equalizes 1-1. Aronian Duda playing on, and Firuja winning against Liam. Okay, this is the position. Bishop e3. Gukesh won, but in 2700 chess, there's no update. No, I'm sure that it will update by tomorrow, maybe. Yes, Kinjal Datta Chaudhary. Yeah, sure. The Kolkata is a big event that will happen now. I think they have announced the dates 29th November to 4th December. That will be a big event. And I think Kolkata should also do something like deathmatch where the crowd gets to hear the commentary. I think this should be a sort of minimum experience for people coming to a chess tournament. They shouldn't be sitting at the venue, just looking at the screen and trying to guess what is happening, because even for strong players, it becomes tough to understand. Oh, by the way, queen e3 to e5 might be dangerous here. Yash Jain, thank you for becoming pillar of Indian chess. That's the highest tier membership, and thank you so much, Yash. All the money that is collected through memberships goes to chess players who are in need of funds. So we are really putting in a lot of effort to support chess players via the foundation, the Help Chess Foundation. And by the way, the queen has moved in. Now if you take here, then queen goes in, this is hanging, and somehow the white king is pretty safe for the time being. Levon swindling there. Chess can never be a spectator sport like paid ticket sport. People will only watch it for free on stream. It's a novelty factor of seeing Anish and VD for the first time that people paid for it, said no one. Maybe. But then, for example, let's say the next death match, if we have someone like, let's um, say Nihal versus Nakamura, or Arjun versus Levon, or I'm sure people would be interested. I don't see this as being just for one time, the novelty. I think it, maybe chat can tell me better. I thought that I thought it was fun that day for everyone, and I don't see it as just once, just the novelty thing. I mean, it's 3 hours. Okay, the ticket cost was 500 rupees. You are there. You get to watch. Next, if you pay 800, you get to play a tournament on previous day where you have a simul opportunity to take part in. You also get to see them. I mean, there was COVID this time, so you didn't get to interact with those players, but even that would happen in future. I mean, I think it looks like a good idea. Chinmay says you will need the right participants. They also need to trash talk like Anish and VD did to drive up excitement. Also, Anish and VD was a rivalry we've been witnessing online for the last 2 years. Yes, there are many such rivalries, and I mean there are many creative ideas that, like, one of the ideas which we had in mind is, let's say, Firuja versus in Indian youngsters. That's another. He's also young, but let's say Firuja versus some of our Indian guys. That could be nice. Sometimes these youngsters may not trash talk, but there would be a chess becomes exciting at some point. Even in Anish versus Vidit, it was finally the match that at the end it was like they were so close. The score was 8-8 that people were like, what's going to happen next? So if, let's say, it was a one-sided match, I don't think people would have enjoyed it as much. So I think it all depends on also on the quality of chess. And we have Keith here. Hello, Keith. People fly across the world to watch esports events like CSGO, Dota, Valorant, LOL. So long as you have top level competitors, you will continue to sell tickets. Thanks, Keith. Um, Gukesh Abdusattarov. Yeah, exactly. Levon Arjun. I think what you guys who have not visited the death match may not appreciate, perhaps, and those who have been there, maybe if they are in the chat, could tell better. I felt there was an energy over there. Like there was this entire kind of a vibe that was created if you are sitting there, where you are listening to the commentary, and the moment it ends, there was a huge cheer. And there was this very nice lighting that was done. For example, when the match is going on, it's all dark in the crowd, all the light is on the players, and when the match ends, then everything gets brightened up. And it was, I think, there were many little things that were done. There was this heart rate counter which you would were watching, and you're like, oh my god, look at with its heart rate moving up. So all these little things do add up, I think, to make it exciting. Manthan says crazy energy was there and the silent disco. Sagar Chess Ambanat says death match, simul, rapid, hand and brain, all was like a chess festival, a huge success. Riddhiman says the cheer was fantastic, gave me tennis vibes. And everyone was given earphones. From what I can tell, the video must have cost you a lot. Yes, it was. We had this company called Translation India. You can go and check it out, which does this. And I was very worried at first whether it would work out well or not. But turns out that they are real professionals at this job, and they were like flawless in their execution. They had charged all the headphones very well. People were given headphones the moment your charge went down. You could go to the counter, give your headphones. They had spare headphones, they would give you instantly and put the ones on charging. I mean, they were very professional, and I think it gave a really nice feeling to this entire event. When we started planning about the death match, there was this part where we were like, we'll tell the people to bring headphones so that they can tune into the commentary anytime on YouTube. And then the discussion went, and I think it was the one of the persons in Paytm Insider who was our ticketing partner, and she told that when people come to watch these events, you need to give them an experience which they will remember forever. You can't ask them to tune in to YouTube and tell, and that just was absolutely correct. It was 100% right. You can't tell them, हाँ जाओ YouTube पे अब देखो इंटरनेट नहीं चल रहा है तो क्या, किसी के फोन में इंटरनेट नहीं है. Maybe there were some youngsters who came without a phone perhaps, and then what would they do? Would they just keep watching? So this somehow became a very important thing, for which we ordered many different things. There was this ones. We ordered these headsets. We were like, if we give the players this, then they cannot hear what's happening because this is like soundproof. And then we will have the commentary going on the sort of the loudspeaker mode. And then we were talking all such ideas, and somehow when you put this on, it looks funny, like what is this, looks like a Mickey Mouse, and the players will start feeling a little there's this, it creates some kind of a suction and you don't feel so well. And so we said, no, we can't do this with the players have to feel good, they have to feel like they're playing a game. And so the other option now was that we have to give headsets to the spectators, but then where do we get it from? I think it was Gaurav, who is from Phoenix Market City, who came up with this idea that there's this company. We spoke to them, they were very confident that they can do it, and then it worked out. What was your question? Wouldn't it be simpler to have the players wear the headphones instead? Can you share why you went for the other route? Yeah, it's we tried many. Actually, we ordered some 3-4 such things, which looked easier, to do it. But I think this is the way to do it. And I don't see us ever going down this route where we'll make players wear this thing. Pragg game has started already? Not yet. Not yet. Players are not back. I think Black is trying to win this, but I don't see a breakthrough somewhere. I think they'll agree to a draw. Archit says Sagar, in esports, players are used to wearing noise cancellation earphones. Yes, this is something which is true, like what they are wearing right now, and they can tune in. But somehow this was over the board, and we didn't want to mix like the esports plus over the board feel both into it. But yeah, it's possible to go that way as well. But I thought this was more clean the way it was done. It cost us, yeah, I mean, for sure. Also, when if the headphones were damaged or people did not deposit it back, it was very expensive. But somehow everyone gave back their headphones. There was no damage, everything. And that just shows how the chess crowd was just very respectful of everything. In fact, the match ended around 10:15 or 10:30. Some people stayed back till 12 in the night just to get a sign on the board. There was like, and then because of COVID we did not do that, but I went out and I took some chess sets or chess boards and then brought it in, got a sign from Anish, and it was but people stayed back till the end. Yeah, there were no sponsors this time for our event. It was completely self-sponsored by Chessbase India. But I hope that it sets a good sort of benchmark that we can aim for sponsors next time. And I think this is what had to be done after a point. I realized at first I was very confident that we would get a sponsor. Then slowly I spoke with many companies, many different people, and then everyone had this thing, oh, there's not enough time and we have to speak to our team, and if you had come maybe few months earlier we would have been able to do it, and so on. And at that point there was, I mean, there was no way back. We had already started with it, we had announced it, I mean, so we went ahead with it, and I think it sets a good thing that next time we can get a sponsor. Yes, Chess for Fun says that last cheer for Vidit reminded of something like Dhoni or Sachin. Exactly. Yes, I think overall, if we want to get, let's say, Magnus or Hikaru or many of these players, we would need bigger sponsors. Vidit and Anish were, of course, amazing people, and they were so nice to me as well. Oh, what they blundered! He just gave up this pawn, and Duda's winning now. I think he had to just maintain with bishop f2. He forgot. He goes here, and now this is hanging and he's lost. I mean, the prize fund was what he didn't take it. Bishop f4. Now take this. Take on h4, then go back. But already the game is complicated. e6, bishop c7, winning these pawns. The real cost of the entire death match was the production of the set, the lighting, the LED screens, the chairs, the entire setup over there. That was the huge cost of it. Of course, we had 8 lakh rupees in prize fund, but the cost of producing this entire, when we thought of such a death match, we had never thought that there would be a production cost involved in it at that point. Of course, slowly we of course realized it was like, okay, production cost ho jayega, but that is a huge one. You can also give earphone to players so that they can hear music. Yes, I think that is a possibility. No, I mean, DGT boards somehow did not work there. We had some 6, 7 DGT boards. We were trying to make it work. It somehow just didn't work out. The moves were not getting relayed to the computer, and the time was running out from 10 a.m. We were trying to fix the DGT board. I mean, it's in Olympiad, there were 700 DGT boards that were running. This was just one. And so I never imagined that DGT board would be one of our problems, at any point. But it became a serious issue. Knight G7, beautiful move. King F5, Knight E6. And so, DGT board is very important because once the DGT moves are happening on the screen, whatever moves are played on the board will happen on, let's say, a website. Like, first go to the DGT software, then go to websites like Chess, chess.com, and so on, and then people can watch it on the screen with the bar. But somehow that did not work, and we had no time. It was already 3 p.m., and the people would start pouring in from 4 p.m. So we took a call that we will chuck this sort of attaching the DGT, which was kind of a huge decision, and we will put a camera on the clock so that people can see the time. So we had 4 cameras. We had to use one camera on the clock then, that clock dekho usse, and the other camera was on the players, which was normal. And we put two people who were sitting there and actually watching the players make the moves and enter them real time in chess. And then those moves were being commented upon, because it was like a broadcast, private broadcast, and the moves they would make, we would there. And I was so scared at any given point कि अरे बाप रे, ये मूव अगर नहीं होगा तो, जैसे चेस 960 में उसने कैसल किया and it didn't happen, and then we made these moves. And yeah, those were some nervous moments for sure. Yes, of course, chess clock is connected to the DGT board, so we didn't have those things. And then it was all jugaad at that point. We did so many jugaads. Pranjalya says the prize fund was maybe a little less compared to what these super GMs are paid in invitationals. But kudos to Anish and Vidit, because I'm sure they agreed, because this was done by ChessBase India. Yes, and also, at the end of the day, I also think that maybe the prize fund was okay. The reason being, yeah, they also did a simul one day before. That is true. Um, what would be the prize fund which could be right? I don't know. Maybe because you have to also compare it with what other tournaments pay for. And of course, for Anish and Vidit, they were very kind enough not to even negotiate or anything of that sort. They were like, let's do it, this is happening. But I thought it was not something that devalued their efforts. It was a decent sum. That's what. Yes, Nubair was making the moves, and also Kushagar was making the moves, and I think they were there, but I was so stressed out, I don't even remember. I think Ashna Makhija was there, and also yeah, there was one more, and this they were there making the moves, and they were amazing. They really helped. So many people helped. In fact, Ashwin Subramaniam helped us with the live, the heart rate counter. Um, who was it? Shikhar Saxena helped us with so many things there. He was from Bangalore. He came there. Um, Robert Hess, what a guy. He's become such a good friend. By the way, King C2, Knight C3, King B2, Knight D1, and pick up this bishop. And look at that Levon smile there. He lost, but he has a smile on the face. The score is 1-1 now. I feel that Robert Hess was amazing. You know, he was coming to Mumbai. He said, Sagar, would you? I'm planning to come. I want to come to the death match. And I said, great, Robert, just come, and we would be very happy to have you. And he said, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. And of course, he's one of the best commentators in the world, but I never had this intention that he would come and commentate, for the games, because he was coming there in the capacity as a guest, not as a commentator. But he was like, well, I'm here and I can commentate, and he did it. And he was there for the simul. He did the entire simul. By the way, Pragnananda on your screen, wearing his headphones there. And then he did it for the main event as well. At some point, Samay had to leave, and Robert was there. Joel joined in. It was epic. Anish has today tweeted saying, gonna be babysitting Pragg in 3 hours. Come watch. Today on Twitter he's written for this match. Keith says he definitely comes across as a great guy, as they rightly say, you can't spell chess without S. Yeah, no, I mean, I hadn't met him before. I had seen his commentary sessions on chess.com, and Anish, I think Vidit had told me that he's a wonderful person. He knew him well, and he's really amazing. Kaushik says, Sagar bhai, you're amazing. You're making chess popular. Thank you, Kaushik. No, I think at the end of the day, Pranjalya Tiwari says, I'm not speaking from monetary sense, just something I felt that inviting people like Magnus or Firuja may demand more hefty fund. Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be. We'll have to figure out, and that's why I think having a sponsor is the correct way to go about it. It may not, I mean, even if ChessBase India had the funds, I think in order to make chess grow, it's very important to have sponsors who gain value through these events and can put in the funds so that you can have more of such things happening. Vinith says, I think in blindfold game it would be good to use extra two people instead of players making the moves. But over, yeah, we had that option to make that, but okay. So we spoke a lot about the death match. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to it, because I hardly have spoken about it. By the way, the same opening D3 Roy Lopez as we saw has happened, and Pragg would have had time to discuss with RB Ramesh, who's present there, and he has gone all in with his prep. I think D5 is the move now. Yeah, D5, D4, Bishop B6. This is all well known stuff. Yeah, Saisham, you're right. Okay, so he's taken with d takes e4. He could have taken with the knight as well here, but then knight c6, and somehow the structure is a bit fixed. So Anish decided to take with the pawn in this position. Okay, so black structure is a bit sort of mangled up, but he has the bishop pair. And if the bishop comes here and if he pushes c5 and then the two bishops look here, that would be amazing. Abhijit Pothula says, shouldn't India host more super tournaments now that we have many players around 2700? Abhijit, you are right. And also one more thing which we shouldn't forget, which has happened, is Vishy Anand. By the way, BG5 played also very quickly. H6. Oh, he took. Queen takes knight d2. C5, knight e4, queen e6. Look at Anish, yeah, he knows his stuff. Rook e1, and he's thinking there, he's making sure he takes the pawn. This is a little bit of a memory game that's going on right now. Rook d8, putting pressure here. And I think Vishy Anand becoming the FIDE deputy president will definitely get more events in India. I think that is one of his main aims as well. And it'll happen. It'll happen. All going in the decent direction, step by step. Queen f5 played. Nice little move. Did Magnus play a3? Really? Started off with a3, but now has gone into a very normal position. Let's just get them on the board. Hans Niemann here, and it has c4, c6, knight c3. I think Magnus sort of trolling a bit, saying to Hans that I can beat you with anything. But he's got a good normal position. He'll play e6, maybe e3, or knight h4. a3 is a useful move. Meanwhile, queen f5 played. And actually, this is something that I have noticed in Pragg. I don't know if you guys have also noticed it. He is able to play highly theoretical lines, okay, and get positions whereby the play does not end in a draw. And this he's able to do. Because I've seen many top players playing against Anish or against these top guys where they play a lot of theory. Then at the end of it, it's like it becomes so easy for players like Anish, if they know the theory, that they are able to hold. But here, you will see that there is play. There are two knights against two bishops. White has an extra pawn. Let's say if you make a move like c5 in a position like this, it's not possible because there's knight c5. Like he stopped it. Let's say bishop b7, which is a natural move. Pragg will keep up the tension in the position. You cannot win a pawn like this because after take knight c5, he will suddenly have a strong knight here. These pawns are weak. You know, these are the things which I notice in Pragg a lot, that he's able to keep the game going. Sanket says, have you thought about crowdfunding for originals events? I wouldn't mind contributing to the prize fund for promoting my music, for example. That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do something whereby the people who are contributing get value at the end of it. And I thought that for a event like this, crowdfunding might not be the best option. Like we have done crowdfunding in so many things when it comes to supporting a player or supporting a cause. But I thought that these events should be more of a nature whereby it sustains on its own. But yes, if someone is crowdfunding it with an intention that they become the sponsors, right? Like if you want something to be promoted, so that would be a good idea. Like I can write it out that would you like something to be promoted, and these are the slabs of sponsorship. If you pay 5 lakh you get this, if you pay 10 lakh you get this, if you are the title sponsor you get this, and so on. Maybe that could be something we can do next time. Yes, this Shashank, this is a good question, which we are also thinking about whether we should continue with the winner taking on a new challenger in the death match, or we should have two different opponents. Right now, I'm a little bit skewed towards having two new opponents. The reason being there will be more people who will get opportunity to play. Um, and we'll be able to, but I think having the winner defend his title has its own, it becomes like a sort of a parallel event, like the world championship match. There's this death match, there's this death match world champion, and then there is this candidates death match candidates, and then we find the challenger to this. So I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not yet sure. It's a something to think about. Yeah. So queen c2 played by Pragg. This is what we had thought of. And now taking here is not a good decision for AG. You see how much pressure, yeah, Pragg is putting on these players. I feel personally, guys, that Pragg, Arjun, Gukesh, Nihal, to some extent even Raunak. I think these guys are now up there with their prep, with what they are doing, with the way they are playing. They are ready to take on these big guns in many senses. Of course, experience is lacking, but look at this. The prep that they have, the ability to manage the tension, to hold bad positions. It's just amazing. And I think a big credit of this does go to their trainers and the people they have worked with and their team. But I think the final sort of the cherry on the top is Vaka, I feel, the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. Because just being able to A5 played by Anish here, I think Anish's idea is just to gain space, maybe with a4. I don't see him planning to activate his bishop from here, but could be that he wants to activate his rook from a4, rook a5, and then swing it over here. h3 by Pragg. Both waiting. Ranjit says, why not raise funds from VC? CBI is more than eligible. That is true, Ranjan. It is possible to do that. And I think it is something we should explore. Also, the death match happened. Sort of, we had to put everything together in couple of months, so it was not easy. But maybe for the next one, we have more flexibility. Yeah. So this was the part I was just trying to say, that Westbridge Anand Chess Academy has helped a lot. And they have been so much sort of consistently investing in chess. Like, it's been over a year and Anand is giving his time, his direction, his efforts. Westbridge is putting in the funds. It's amazing. And Gukesh himself mentioned that when he lost to Abdusattorov, he was in a bad state. He was like, I can't. I mean, it was tough for him. But then Vishy Anand came over that night to Radisson Blu, the hotel, and he showed Gukesh games which helped, which were like those ones that he had lost in completely winning positions. And at that point, Gukesh felt that if Anand, who's a 5-time world champion, also has lost games like this, it's not the end of the road for me. It's very important for that moment. And I think Vishy played a big role there. Yes, the devil says heart rate would be a good addition here, which Chess24 can imbibe from your event. That is true. I think, again, heart rate is something which was phenomenal. Everyone agreed to it, that it was perhaps one of the finest additions to it. And I don't know why more organizers don't do it. I mean, for us, it was 2 Apple Watches given to the players to wear, and they're and tracking them on the cloud of. I mean, Ashwin did it. He's a pro in that. He knew it. It's just 2 links, and you had the accurate heart rates of both the players, which we just put in our broadcast. Again, I think Anish and Vidit were absolutely fine with it. I think players might have an issue with it. That's the only reason I see why organizers don't do it often. That oh, it reveals too much about us, perhaps that way. But I don't see players having any issue. You can just get 10 watches, give it to 8 watches to these players, have the heart rate there. It just makes the chess broadcast so much more exciting. I mean, we were talking all the time about, look at his heart rate, look at its heart rate, 178. Bala Subramaniam Ganeshan, thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. D4 is not hanging. That's what we discussed. If you take. Now, you can't take on C7 because E4 is hanging. But what you can do is you can put your knight here, and then after take, this is just the kind of position you don't want to play as black. because you have two weak pawns. The knight is well positioned. It does look dangerous. So that's the reason why I have serious doubts whether Anish will go for this. He did not. He went rook e8. Plays it. I think he wants this knight to move so that he can chop this off. That is his plan. But after knight moves, the queens have to be traded. So that is where I think, yeah, this game may tend towards equality after this. Let's say after take, you have to, I think you can interpose this move, rook e8. You can also start with this, rook c2, because he's not going to take here and allow you knight e1. I mean, that would be just too good. So bishop f3, you must take here, otherwise your rook is hanging, right? If you take gf3, rook would hang. So you play rook e8, then rook e8, and then gf3, and you reach a position like this. Nishchal Patel says, why in the chess world champ takes on winner of candidates an undue advantage for existing candidates? It can be like other sports, winner of candidates is champ, so that winners like Magnus and Kasparov need to fight every time. It's just the way the sport is. By the way, this position has occurred on the board. Check, king g2. Pragg is a pawn up, but Anish is putting pressure here. Now, let's see how much can Pragg sort of push here. I think game very logically should end in a draw, but we'll see how much Pragg can push. It will be interesting. So firstly, I think Pragg's move is clear. You can't just give up a pawn because then it's just equal. So he must go knight a6, attacking c7. Bishop d4 makes a lot of sense. Knight c7 also makes sense. Rook b1, putting pressure here. I'll play p3. Yeah, and then Pragg can try and fight here. I think Anish has to be careful there because a4 takes rook b4. He wins back the pawn and so on. By the way, rook d1 and Pragg has to go knight a6. You can see there Pragg has 13 minutes. I think his opening with white definitely has not been working against Anish to a big extent. Akash Bhargava says, I think you should have a challenger match. Let's say Nihal versus Pragg. That person will then challenge for the title. Great fun and definitely scalable. Yeah. No, I mean, Akash, that is one option for sure. Maybe a poll on ChessBase India YouTube community could be a good idea to get your thoughts. I mean, most of the things that we have done, we get a lot of ideas from all of you. So with some comment, some live chat, may some message, some of that, there's always something lurking around. So knight c7, take. I think this endgame is quite a interesting one. Should be a draw, but Pragg can push with an extra pawn. This is what has happened. Wow. And you can see Pragg there. Pragg is good at rook end games. I must tell you guys. He is good. He's excellent. Sagar, can we have Super Juniors Cup again? Yes, in a more polished way, for sure. On my mind, actually. Also Super Heroes Cup, which we did. 2020 was an epic year in that sense. We did so many things. Also, I mean, Super Heroes Cup happened in 2021. That was also very nice. Yes, Pragg showed that yesterday. That he can beat the best in the business in rook end games. And actually, I remember once Pragg telling me his favorite game was from World Youth, where he played a rook end game, World Youth under 18 in Mumbai, and he really enjoyed playing it. You can see Anish actually thinking, and he's played a very nice move, sort of just holding these pawns back. What do you think is the move, guys? Can you tell me? What is the move here? G5, right? That's the move. And now none of these pawns can move ahead. So now it's a decision time for Pragnananda. Should he go rook c2 back and say to Anish that you don't get the 7th rank? But Anish will be like, fine, Pragg, your rook is passive. Your pawns are passive. Your king can never come out like this because I'll go and attack here. All in all, you can't make progress. So, yes, it's one of those things where you have everything under control, but what's your next plan? How do you progress? What's the way in which you're going to create a passer so that you can start pushing it? It's not clear. I think there's one idea here, which is b3, rook b2, a3, and then b4. So that's the reason why here black can be accurate with one move. Can you find what that move is? Black to play. We have Shushruta Reddy in the chat who says draw. Shushruta Reddy, by the way, is from Bangalore, and he has his own chess academy there. And also, he does so many events there, amazing events, and has been actually promoting chess in Bangalore in a big way. And I think one of the reasons why Bangalore has so many budding chess players is because of their chess in schools program, chess being taught in schools, the tournaments that are happening, and so on. Yes, a4, that's the move here. Just sort of, stifling those pawns. So that's the reason why you just don't want to go back with your rook here. Although it keeps everything intact, it doesn't give you a plan to progress. So maybe the other plan is to go rook b7. You can see Pragg, he's thinking hard. Maybe he wants to then play a3, b3, a3, b4 somehow, because I want to start with a3. Let's say king g7. I want to play a3. I'm a bit worried about a4, but yeah, then you have rook b4. So I think Pragg will be able to put some pressure here. That is for sure. He goes rook b7. See, he plays rook b7. Jash Pandya says, do you take one-on-one classes? No, Jash, I do not take one-on-one classes because most of my time goes in what I'm doing right now. So rook b7, how do you continue? As black, as Anish. Jai Pandit, hello Jai. Congratulations on the great Olympiad coverage. Your enthusiasm is infectious and work ethic second to none. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, having a good work ethic is a good idea, but always it comes with its downsides as well. Like, for example, you want to always be able to sort of work together as a team. There are many things to be done. You want to be able to delegate things well. And I think people who work really hard have sometimes very hard time delegating stuff. And I think it's important to do that so that the quality is better, the speed is better, the output is better, and so on. So that is also a challenge often. Okay, rook b5. attacking the a5 pawn. The pawn needs to be pushed. Sai Shyam, thank you so much for your super chat. That's a huge one. Thank you so much. Vandit says deathmatch was like a celebration of chess-based India community. It felt like a festival altogether. I think so. And you know when people hold chess festivals, uh, I feel like, oh, that's a chess festival there. Why do they name it a chess festival? By the way, look at this game. Hans Niemann pushing Magnus. Pushing Magnus. Magnus, you can't go just a3 and stuff like that against Hans. Uh, but it was a festival. We had a tournament on day one, then we had a simul, and then we had the main event. So it did look like a festival for sure. Bishop g6, takes. It looked pretty okay for Magnus here. He went g4, and this is where Hans stunned everyone. What's the move you will play in this position? Look at this. Nothing's developed. Black has castled. All the pieces are out. What do you do, guys? Come on. This is baby stuff for all of you. When the opponent's king is not safe, when he's undeveloped, what do you do? Valiant's chess says Sagar bhai came cho Vishal here from Vadodara, if you remember me. Shall I can see your picture? It's I mean, most likely I'll remember you when I see you. But yeah, Vishal, thank you for your super chat. Jash Pandya, thank you so much. Yes, exactly. Look at this. All of you are absolutely right. And I think Magnus just underestimated this. And in comes e5. And I think Magnus thought, okay, first of all those who have said e5, well done. Vishesh, Chess for Fun, Chess Codes, Sogata, Samir, Sharvil, Satyam, Rishabh, Amit, Daniel. Well done. He thought he can go g5, and if the knight moves, he can pick up the d5 pawn. But Hans was like, I'll take here first. Now, if you take here, I will take on taking on c3. So he took back, and now came knight h5. And he took on d5, and here was an important moment actually. Hans got a bit greedy here, and he took this pawn. Or maybe he just wanted to keep the material equal. If he had gone queen d8, I believe that Magnus would have been in serious trouble here. Guys, also, yeah, Soumya Ghosh says, please like the stream. Please do like it. But he took here, rook b1, rook d8, bishop d3, rook c8. And I think Magnus is kind of back in the game, back in the hunt. Let's go to the game of Pragg and Anish. Rook b5, rook d2. I think Pragg has a choice now. Guys, this game can become interesting. I think so. It can. Because then the point is, are you going to take here? Thank you, Mahesh. It says, is AICF planning to organize closed tournaments? Not sure yet. Not sure. Pushkar says I would go a4 here. But Pushkar, what's the plan? a4. Let's say king g6. If you take here, I'll take here. If you play here, I'll go here. So you take here, you take here. And I think this is where the position will reach, and then Pragg can go rook a8, rook here, a5. Let's say king f5, maybe a6, let's say h5. Now comes an important part of this entire thing. I can push my pawn to a7, but that would mean that my king would never have any shelter here. See, my king would love to go through this square, which is a shelter. But if I push to a7, I would have no shelter left, and whenever my king reaches here, imagine the pawn is here, the rook would start checking from behind, and I would never be able to enter. So let's just imagine, yeah. So you might say, let's start the journey, but if you haven't pushed your pawn here, then black has time to snatch a pawn like this and play, because then you do not have, you still have to make one more move. While if you have the pawn on a7, let's say, and then you play this, black can never snatch this pawn, because after rook b8 I'm just queening. So both moves, like pushing a7 has its upsides and downsides. Pushing a7 is like long term commitment, it's like marriage. You do this, if you can't get your king in like this somewhere behind, you are not going to win this, because there's no other way. You can't move the rook, you lose the pawn. The moment you come here, the rook will start checking from behind. Then you go here, the rook will come back and hold this together. Ranjan says good way to grow revenue is by scaling merch. It's your USP. No, our merch did very well at the Olympiad. We had a stall there. People from all across the world uh, took back home Chess Base India t-shirts, and we now have hoodies. I think we launched it there. We are soon going to launch it in our shop. It's very good quality. I think I will wear it on one of the streams here. Yeah, it does look promising for sure. Yes, CSL definitely. Ashish Mishra. What Gukesh blundered, guys? Gukesh won today already. He played a game today, he won, and now he's taking rest. He's enjoying in Turkey, playing the Turkish league. Muthu Krishnan, thank you so much. Tanish says, love these streams where you talk about the future of Chess Base India and talk about general stuff. These things which I sort of talk with you guys are some of the talks which we often have with Amruta, and like me and Amruta, we have a lot of such talks. And it all started with such talks, and I was one of those persons who never really liked talking much to someone, like go in deep conversations with people, because I used to think, oh, it's a waste of time, why to have conversations when you can do things, um, like, you can write an article, you can record a video, and all of this looks much better than just sitting at maybe a dinner table and talking. By the way, look at this. Pragg goes f4, and you will see this is the kind of play from Pragg which makes him a very formidable opponent under in such rook end games. He takes, and Pragg's idea most likely is to go h4 h5 here. That is his point, with this rook covering here, and he's come down all the way to 3 minutes from 13, while Anish has 6 minutes. He wants to push, and slowly I realized that talking is actually important. Talking, and basically it's not just talking, but it's talking about ideas. It's about sharing, sort of speaking about things, brainstorming, I would say, and became a big fan of it. And I think many of the brainstorming things which I've done with many people, especially Amruta, have resulted in huge things. So yeah, I guess in this chat there might be people who might be thinking like how I used to think before. Maybe it's good to talk, good to discuss ideas. What's that saying? Ordinary people discuss about people, good people discuss about events, great people discuss about ideas, something like that. I'm not sure though, but F6 played by Anish. Anish being very solid here. Samay raid. Samay. Hello, hello. Hello, Samay bhai. Yes, I will cover Gukesh's game for tomorrow's video. Good idea, Ayush. Good idea. Imam says, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Something like that. Okay, Samay's stream ended and people are coming here. So it's not like a real raid that Samay has done, but people have come here. So it's like an unofficial raid. Thank you guys. Okay, this is good enough. I think Anish has found a great setup here. His last move here, f6, was aimed at taking control of the g5 square. So when h4 is played, he can play h5 and not worry about g5. b3. One of the things which Amruta and I have been discussing a long time and which we are trying to achieve, one of our plans, is to have ways in which we can promote chess. So Chess Ranga is one which we just launched a few days ago. And the other one is we wanted to do some kind of a children's book, little children's book on chess, and that is something which we are working on, and maybe it'll launch soon, so that little kids can learn chess and so on. Good news. But it is you see Pragg, the way he's looking, if you notice it carefully, he's looking at this position like, where's my opportunity, right? He's not looking at this position like, are yaar draw hai. See the difference, and that is where he's able to outplay players like Anish. Rook b2 played. I'm just thinking, like, let's say king e4. Okay, if you take here, just I take here. Now what has happened is you have this pawns sort of broken up. I have two connected pawns. So I think somewhere Pragg is thinking in that direction. No, he goes king g2. Maybe Pragg is saying to Anish that you are in a zugzwang, because if king h6, keeping control here, I guess take, rook f5, attacking here and here. Go here, I take here. Maybe small improvement. My rook controls this, everything. I can try to run my king over, play this position. Magnus game, winning. Magnus ने turn around कर दिया game को. You can see from, actually I don't need to put the board. You can just see the face of Neiman. He's not happy. I think king g2 has forced Anish to kind of reassess the situation. कि क्या करना है. You can see him there, very focused. I don't know what he should do. Maybe he can wait here with rook b1, because then the king cannot activate itself from here. And if you go back, I can go back up. So I think rook b1 is Anish kind of a move. Anish loves such moves where you don't let your opponent make progress. Where to follow Turkish League? Live.chessbase.com has the live games. It's the live page for Chessbase. So that is one way to follow. He goes rook b1. See? Anish kind of a move. Rook b1. Stopping. And Pragg goes rook b8. Okay. Pragg, what do you want to do? Why did you put your rook on b8? I have no clue. King f5 by Anish. That's a good move. Maybe he comes in and takes this. King f3 by Pragg. Okay. Now rook b2 is Anish move. There's also rook h1, but Anish would never do that. Rook h1. Because rook h1 kind of breaks the thing. See, he stays in. No, you know a player, you know him, you know a few things about him. Yeah, breaks the harmony, Patik. Or just breaks the sort of his logic in his head. The logic in his head is when the king comes here, you go to b1, stop here. When the king comes up, you stay here so that when he takes here, he will take this. Once again, Anish is being pushed back, yeah, on time. King e5. See, blunder, blunder. Rook b5. Man, how does Praggnanandha do it every single time? Every single time. Takes this and now take this on h5. He's winning. But will he be able to sense it? Will Pragg be able to sense he can take here, check, take here, then take the pawn on a5? Insane things happening here, guys. Because Pragg, it's a draw. Yeah, we are just like moving around, but Pragg manages to do this again and again. He is, I think, modern day Rubinstein. Rook, the way he plays rook end games is just phenomenal. And look at him now, him moving in, focusing back into that mode where he's just at the board. He knows he's got his chance. He just plays rook end game so well. So well. Okay, one point is if you take here, check, you don't want to take this. Because then if you take this, check, and you lose this pawn. What do? You go to g4. You take the shield of this pawn and then you pick this up. But I'm not sure if Pragg will take it, but he's calculating. He's coming down on time equal to Anish 1 minute 22. But this is the right time, Pragg, to think. Because if Pragg doesn't take this pawn, he's not going to win this. He must take it. Even Anish is sort of a bit worried. But if Pragg finds rook h5, rook b3 and king g4, I think he will be able to. It's kind of forcing in a way. If he finds this, he's winning. He has 50 seconds. Okay, I'm getting a bit stressed out here whether Pragg will play it or not. What do you think, guys? Anish realizes his mistake, huh? You think so, guys? I doubt. I think Anish still feels it's within drawing realms. No, he gives a check. I don't know what Pragg did not see, but give a check again. But I think Anish will go back then. Rook b5, king, yeah, rook b8. I don't know what he must have missed here. Like rook h5. Maybe he didn't see king g4. Maybe he only saw this move. Or is there something here that he missed? I'm not sure because next move you're taking here and then you have two passers. Sure. But I think there will be more such things happening in this game now. I think Pragg is also a little bit. Do you think he realized that he had a winning chance there? Do you think that Pragg felt like, oh, I could have done this? Yeah, he might get a chance again. king g6, rook b5, rook c2. Oh, nice move, by the way, rook c2. Because if you take here, he wants to give a check and then pick up this pawn. Okay, Pragg, somehow engineer the same position. Go rook b7, bring king f5, come back, let him come back, check, and then take this somehow. Pragg is like, कैसे लाऊं वो position को फिर से? How do I get that position again? Is the question. Meanwhile, Magnus, I think, is on his course to victory. He'll be 2-1 up in the match. What happened? Oh, Pragg. Oh, Pragg just went in for this variation. Okay, interesting. Game is not over by any means, for sure. Check, king g3. It will go on, but king f7. Okay. Now, no. Of course, you don't take this because then he takes here and then it's a draw. I think you go like check or you just go rook 8. Yeah, Pragg missed that huge opportunity. I think he missed king g4. That's what I think. There was nothing more than that in that line. For all those who were not there at that point, this was the moment where Pragg could have won by taking here. And I think he did. He might have looked at king g2 and he thought that okay, f5 blocking the rook and doesn't look good, and he might have looked at king f4 and he didn't like this check and losing that pawn, but he missed king g4. This is my feeling. Maybe Pragg is the only person who can tell us accurately. Rook e8. Oh, nice move by Pragg. Check. And again, you will see he wants tactically to come to e4. Yeah, you can go rook e4, right? No, you can't. Or you can, because take, king e4, a5, king d5, king f4. Yeah, till the king goes there, you will round up these pawns and you'll queen your pawn. So once again, Pragg has found a way to keep the game going, to keep it in a way where his rook protects this and this pawn nicely. But the unfortunate part is that this pawn cannot be protected. Yeah, rook c4 played. Maybe now next move check. If he can go like a5 and rook a4, he would be winning. But the moment he pushes a5, Anish will get behind the passer. Remember, it's very important to keep your rook behind the passed pawn as a defender as well as an attacker. Pragg wants to get here. Anish also wants to go behind the pawn. Anish has now 20 seconds left. And guys, when both players are down to 20 seconds, you are going to see errors. Check. Let's go back here or here. By the way, this is bad. Yeah, he goes back. This is a good move. a5. So slowly going up. I think he'll play rook a4. That's a typical Anish move and a good move. Or rook a2. Both. But rook a4 makes sense. Keeping an eye on that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm able to guess lot of Anish moves. Yeah. f4 check. King back. Oh, Pragg is going f5 next. He's keeping the game going, huh? बंदे में है दम, for sure. He's keeping the game going. He's not like draw कर लेते हैं अनीश भाई, let's draw. तो like no, खेलेंगे, let's play. If you attack here, I'll push. He goes rook f4, king f3. Look at this. Important tempo won by Pragg. King h6. Guys, this is heating up. You don't play f5, you lose a pawn. So let's wait. Maybe king e3. Just improve. Pragg is winning. Bar says winning, but I think Bar has little to do here. Both players are in their zone. They want to both of them don't know who's winning. It's a draw or not. King g3. See, Bar came down. It's going to fluctuate a lot. It's going to fluctuate a lot. Let's not look at the bar for now. Let's just try to understand this as like a continuing struggle. Like king f3 maybe back, but then he might. Why would he do that? I think Pragg did not like king e3 because of check, king d4, rook here. But I mean, he has no time. So Pragg goes rook d5, king h6. You know why the bar is going up and down is because of king f3. Both players are not very keen on this move. They both are moving their kings back and forth. He goes rook b5. Again, he'll play king g6. Bar will come up. So I think at some point Pragg has to go king f3. By the way, news in that Carlsen has won. Oh, he pushes f5. Yeah, this king h6. Now I don't know how much. Oh, what? He's giving up this. Is this good? Like take here. This should be a draw. This should be a draw. But will he take here or will he go back? Pragg had a choice between going for this line or bringing his king from e3. Why would he choose this is a question. Okay, check by Anish. King g2. And now he can take. Take check, rook g6, rook g5. I think he'll do that. Then king f6 and rook f5. Yeah. I think Pragg knows it's a draw. Even Anish knows. Look at Anish. He's like, if rook g5, king f6, rook h5, rook f5. Yeah. What a fight. Yeah, Anish, Pragg knows he's missed a couple of wins there. And Anish manages to survive against Pragg. Oof. What an endgame, guys. What an endgame. But this was, I think, one more moment here where Pragg could have, instead of going king g3, played king e3. King g6, rook d5, and he's just waiting. But now is the time to sacrifice the pawn. So if you take here, what's the winning move here, guys? You know, I've just told you something very important about rook behind the passed pawn. So what's the winning move here for white? Can you tell me? No, if you play a6, he will go behind the pawn. So you must play something which allows you to go behind the pawn, and which is maybe the chat chess moves stopped, but the main point here is rook d4. And next move I'm going here, so you must give a check. And now important, king c4, rook a3, king b5, with the idea of rook a4. Let's say f5. You can go a6. Next move rook a4, take, f4, a7, f3, and I make a queen and I'm winning. So I think Pragg would be a bit unhappy. And ooh, look at this rook endgame. My god. Alireza winning, which means that Ali Reza would have then beaten his opponent in just 3 games. Doesn't even have to play four. 2.5. What a comeback, yeah, by Ali Reza. Take. Check. King e6. Threatening to go here. King e5. Threatening to go here. Time to resign. Liam has to resign this. Check. King f6. King g5. King f6. Yeah, I think every match has a prize money here, if I'm not mistaken. I think if you win every match, what do you win? Like $7,500 for every match you win. Please correct me if I'm wrong. No, no, maybe it's too much, no? 7,500. What's the amount? Yeah, I'm updating the score. Ah, it's right, huh? 7,500. Yeah. That's close to 5.5 lakh rupees for every match you win. So yesterday Pragg won. Oh, it's a checkmate. Yeah, I mean not a checkmate, but if you play here, he will take. And now, guys, is G7 the right move or King H7? What do you think? How many of you think G7? How many of you think King H7 is the right? Of course, of course. Chat, it's late in the night, but no one has written G7 because after G7, King G8, it's draw. In order to keep control of this pawn, you have to go here, and this is a well-known stalemate. So you start with King H7 and then shepherd your pawn towards the queening square. Let's update the scores here. Pragg, Anish, 1.5. 1.5. You know, one of the things that I just wanted to talk to you guys about is Pragg's attitude overall. I think if you asked Pragg what is the prize money that he's winning in an event like this, he would have no idea of the prize fund. Why? Because all of his focus goes only in one direction, and that direction is how to improve his chess. And he walks the talk. Yeah, he doesn't just say, oh, I want to improve my chess and all of that. He walks the talk. He is always thinking about how I should get better, and he doesn't have interest about prize money, prize fund, awards, or anything of that sort. And I find this truly amazing. Yeah, very inspiring. Very inspiring because um, if you had a single minded focus on being better at what you do, be it anything, yeah, be it chess player, be it a lawyer, be it a doctor, be it a commentator, or anything, you're just going to improve at that thing, and you will become more valuable in all respects. So this ability to focus on what is important while blocking out other things around you, I think it has a lot to do with age. But I know of many 17-year-olds who are just all the time obsessed about prize money, rating points, which place, what stuff. I mean, all of that. And Pragg has managed to stay really focused on chess. Hari Krishnan, I will be there at the chess club this Saturday. I will be there at the Phoenix Chess Club this Saturday. Age is on Pragg side, but yes, he has managed to remain innocent. Yes, innocent. I mean, also the team which he has created is nice. His parents, Ramesh, RB Ramesh. Sachin says ticket to this event are so expensive, plus air travel and hotel stay. I wanted to go really bad, but Sachin, you can plan, no? I think tickets are what, 300 USD or something of that sort, or maybe it was 200 USD before. I think they had some offer, and your flight. I don't know how expensive that would be. Yeah, maybe it would cost you something in the range of 500 600 USD for this event. Yeah. Next round will start now immediately. You're almost there. Duda and Levon have started their game because they ended very soon. So look at this move by Levon, C3. It's like playing, if you're playing with black pieces, D4, D5, Knight F3, C6. And he's doing the same with C3. It's a, it's just how, it's just new chess. You're just playing this to throw your opponent off from some of his preparation. And you just want a game. You can transpose it into London system. You can also go G3, Bishop G2 castles. Sachin says $250 plus 450 flight plus $100 hotel stay 800. I couldn't go to Europe and watch something. Yeah, possible. Ah, they went into the London system now. Queen B3 maybe. Or you can do Queen C2 here because there's no Bishop F5 business. So maybe Queen C2. Just keep the queens. The one who wins this will win the match. Pankaj Kumar says, thanks Sagar bhai for the motivation. From tomorrow, no stream, only work. Yeah, we get a charger. By the way, guys, I wanted to show you something. I had brought this yesterday. It's a gift that was given to me by my good friend from Armenia. His name is Avetic Gregorian, and he sent this with one of the with Rupali who was there in Armenia, and I got it recently. Look at this, what's written. It's called Ararat. I don't know if you know this. By the way, I do not consume alcohol, but it's a very nice thing to have. It's some very famous wine or something, and it's written Chess Base India here. Chess Base IND. So, a very kind of him. I think it will be more like a trophy in our house. We'll stay there. Or someone else will come and consume it. Or maybe you can take it to the Bermuda party. Or maybe Samay can. So many ideas. It's a brandy. Ah, okay. What is it? Okay, Pragg and Anish have started playing really quickly. Let's go there and let's, by the way, have them bigger on screen. Oops, sorry. Pin, unpin, Anish, Magnus, Hans. Yeah, these are the games we have been following. By the way, they're speeding up. Yeah, playing very quickly. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4 played, e3, Rubinstein system. In the Nimzo Indian, d5, a3, takes, c5, queen c7, bishop e2, b6, take, bishop a6, castles. This is the position. I think makes a lot of sense to exchange one bishop when your opponent has the bishop pair. So I really like this idea. But also, I mean, is going to go into, oh, he goes queen b7. It's going to go into this central pawns versus outside majority. Tanish says, why do we give up our bishop in the Nimzo? For different reasons, Tanish, always. Like, there are different ways to play. One is, like, in such positions, uh, you can play something like attack on this. I mean, once you've played d5, you can't do that. But look at this. Here, what you have done is you have castled. So, you hit the center. And then you play queen c7 with the threat of this. So, he goes back. And then you play... the main point is one of the bishops will remain passive. And then you exchange one of the bishops here. So what you are doing is essentially changing one thing from another. Now white has caught up in development, but meantime you have been able to exchange a pair of bishops. So then you can see like something like this, rook knight bd7, and even though white has one bishop, black is very comfortable, like rook c8. Maybe then he can start pushing his pawns and so on. Did I not update the scores? Sorry. I think, or I have updated. Yeah. Guys, also please do like the stream if you are enjoying this commentary. Today, somehow I'm not feeling sleepy. I don't know why, because this day had been quite hectic in general. But I think mainly it has to do with the fact that when I came back, I did sleep tonight, like before the round. Like I slept for half an hour. And maybe that half an hour sleep is much more valuable than sleeping for 1 or 1.5 hours in the afternoon before the round is better. Maybe, yeah, Shiv Shom says maybe knight e4 and knight df6. Yeah, I like Pragg's position. It's quite okay. Queen e2. He took with the queen, knight bd7. But can we not go e4 now? I mean, Pragg could have gone knight e4, stopping this. But he went knight d7 and Anish goes e4. Good move. And Anish has something to play for, you know. And a typical idea is d5 often. Opening up this bishop, sometimes even sacrificing a pawn, like let's say rook c8. Here it won't work well, but just as an idea, take and e5. And then after knight e4, I mean knight d4, you have this nicely placed pieces, maybe f5, f4, f5 could come in, and that's how things could roll. This time it's Anish who's had this amazing prep and has gone like on 16 minutes. Meanwhile, Pragg pushes b5. Shiv says, somehow these games eerily remind me of d5, e5, especially with solid nd4. I believe that even this is not a bad idea. It's just that rook f e8 and this could be an issue, but this is not bad. Like, say, The most natural move 94, and white has compensation here. Yeah, Rajat, all the best for your tournament to Udaipur. Please do well. Grim Fandango says that's a good brandy. I think it's close to 85 to $100. For me, it's like priceless, yeah. And there's no value to it. It's just the thought behind it that someone sends you something from Armenia. Um, that itself means a lot. Meanwhile, Neiman already not doing so well out of the opening against Magnus. So Magnus this time didn't go for French. He went for the modern e6. Sort of perk में e6. I think Neiman is now not in his best mood. And here he has attacked on this pawn. How do you defend it in a nice way? In a very tricky way. Can you tell me? Black to play. An amazing move here. Bishop a6 played by Magnus. He didn't find the best move. Actually, many of you wanted to play. By the way, Avinash Kumar, well done. I think you found the best move there. Knight a6 is somehow many people want to play, but then bishop f4. I hold this on. You can never push this knight away because d6 gets weakened. You cannot move this knight because c7 falls. So all in all, this is looking bad. You can't move the bishop because this is hanging. So that's the reason why the right move here was a6. And after take, you had to find this move. Of course, you will find this next, rook a7. And the knight is trapped. So I'm a bit surprised that Magnus didn't find this. Knight b5, a6. He went bishop a6 and now Neiman can go bishop f4 here. He gets a good position. Going back to Pragg versus Anish. After rook d1, h6, knight h2. Okay. Just wants to go knight g4, I guess. Does Pragg go a5 or should he go b4 straight away? Let me get a charger. Just a second. Okay, b4 pushed here by Pragg. Nice move. Yeah, Pragg always understands what's important. If you take, maybe bishop a1 back, just saving the bishop, preparing knight g4, a5. I mean, just a line. Knight g4, knight takes, queen takes, knight f6, queen g3. And now the d5 threat becomes very real. So I still feel that Anish, you know, why this move knight h2 makes a lot of, by the way, this has happened. Why this move knight h2 makes a lot of sense from Anish is because d5 has less effect when the knights are protecting each other. But when you exchange one pair of knights like this, and then d5 has so much more value because this knight is hanging. I am eating pomegranate. You know, Amruta ordered these fruits. So, even though she's not here, she ensured that there were fruits at home. So, very, very thoughtful. Magnus doesn't seem very happy, no? Is his position bad or what? He went back and he wants to play a6 next. a5? But what about a6? Yeah, I think he'll play a6. Neiman has given him a tough fight. Oh, by the way, look at this move. Rook d3. He misses it's a blunder by Anish. And look at Pragg. He looks here. He knows. Guys, do you see it? Do you spot it before Pragg? This is a blunder by Anish. Pragg, can you see it? It's LPDO. Can Pragg spot it? I think he's seen it. I think he's seen it from what I can see from Pragg's face. No, not 94, guys. What 94? Ah, you mean 94 and then this. So take. He had bishop a3 prepared for you guys. For all those who fell for this trap. World of wit, you are right. He finds it. Rook c2 and look at Anish there. He's like, oh my god, what did I just do? He's blundered big time. Rook d3 was such a big blunder and Pragg spots it. He's played rook c2 and Pragg's eyes are just laser focus on the board. He's seen it. He's attacked the queen. Bishop is falling. So you must take it. There's no other way. But when you take it, queen takes e1 check. Now you must play knight f1. And you just lost a key pawn. Pragg saw it instantly. And Anish is so unhappy. And this might mean that he will lose the match. And look at Pragg there. He knows he's got it under control because bishop a3, rook e2, bishop b4, rook e1, bishop e1, and knight e4. And that's a very important pawn. Guys, it's not just one pawn. It's also the d5 square for your knight. Because from here, let's say the knight comes here. So Pragg, after beating Firuza yesterday, is now all set to beat Anish. Very likely. Water bottle. Let's not jinx it. Okay, I'm not jinxing it, but the water bottle came out. Guys, Pragg himself said कि भाई पानी पीने का time आ गया. You know Pragg and his love for the water bottle. Actually, now for Anish, it's more like a shock. It's more than just a move. It's like, why did I do this? And now, to recover from this, he has to first of all think whether queen c2 is better or bishop a3 is better, because he has these two options. And you can look at Anish and you can literally sense that he's feeling so sad. So while we are watching this with less emotions, the player who's playing is filled with so many emotions, that why did I play this move? What did I just do? I had such a nice position. I could have first just dropped my bishop back. That move crossed my mind. Why didn't I do that? Why did I do rook d3 and then allowed rook c2? And but Anish, I think part of being a world class player is recovering from such things. And Anish finds the best move. Let's see now. I mean, Pragg has to take. He won't do anything else. Anish will take. Pragg will take. Anish will take. And knight e4. And we'll reach this position. Now the and we have reached. And now the question is this totally winning? d5. Oh, this is a very important move, maybe, because if let's say you would have played rook a3, rook a8, and just for example knight f3, then after knight d6, knight d5, I already think that black has firm grip on the position. So what with d5 he wants to do is he wants to, let's say if you reach such a position, this is much closer to a draw than winning for black, because the a pawn is now not as dangerous. You can just feel it, right? Imagine that this position where your knight sits here, you have more chances, because this is a weakness on d4. So it's not only that you have extra pawn, you also have one more advantage. But when he goes d5, he's trying to get rid of that weakness. So let's say knight d c5, attacking this. Rook d1 and rook d8. Maybe this is what Pragg might do. I'm interested to see what Pragg's decision will be. I'm sure he's not going to take this. Yes, he finds a knight dc5. Okay, what about, guys, what about rook a3? Because this can get tactical. Yes, if you find time to defend this, then after d6, exactly the sort of drawish position comes about. So you take here and then rook a7. And once again, you evaluate this position as Anish. And you ask yourself, is this better? I think this also could have been drawish if Anish could have got his pieces well positioned. But his pieces are so poorly positioned that rook b8, rook b1 is just too strong. So rook a3 played, by the way, by Anish. And I think Pragg must decide to take this. You don't want to go here. I think this is not a good position to play. You take this, you play with this sort of central armada of pieces. Anish has to stay above Pragg's time so that he can keep the much needed pressure. That's true. Again, decision, good decision. ED5 found. F3. F3. Knight G5. Again, Pragg finds the best move. Pragg has like this engine in his head, yeah? That's what people are saying. He's so good at certain types of positions. I mean, he's just so strong. At least in rapid, I think if I have to say, like, if Blitz is the format which suits let's say Nihal or Arjun, I think rap and classical is the format which suits or let's say Blitz very good is Nihal, Raunak, Arjun. Classical is very good Gukesh. Then rapid seems to fit in well with Pragg. Okay, rook takes a7, and now I want to go like rook b8. By the way, guys, all those who are tuning in, the score is at 1.5 for Magnus. For Pragg and Anish, and whoever wins this game wins the match. And Pragg right now is really in the driver's seat. He goes rook c8. He didn't prefer rook b8, taking the open file. He goes rook c8. Rook a1. Okay. I love how Anish is also super focused. Yeah. Anish has not given up. Like, it is very possible that he would say, like, what the hell did I just do, and just sort of start making weak moves. But Anish is there. Knight g6, good move by Pragg. Connecting his knights. I think somewhere Pragg would have liked his rook to be here. I don't know why he didn't prefer rook b8 over rook c8. Like rook b8, what could be his reason for not liking it is a question. But okay, knight e6 played. No, this Aditya, this rating of Pragg is, I think, the Champions Chess Tour rating that they have, their own rating. And by the way, now the pawn pushes forward d4. Knight g4 by Anish. What Anish might love to do is blockade somehow this pawn. But it may not be easy to do it. Okay, next thing, if Pragg does this next bit of thing, it will be insane. So he wants to, now he has the knights well placed. I think natural is rook b8 to activate the rook. But okay, the rook is well positioned. Maybe rook b8 could be done. But you want one more piece to come into the game. That is the king. And if you find f6 and king f7, mind would be blown for sure. My mind would be blown. And I think many of you actually have found this move f6, but I mean, I don't think Pragg will find this move. Also, there are many other ways to play, so it's not like. But if he does play this f6 king f7 idea, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Ravi Kumar, thank you for super chat. तुम बहुत मस्त काम करता है सागर भाई. अरे थैंक यू रवि कुमार. I enjoy this. Really, I enjoy it because, first of all, I love how ambitious Pragg is in this tournament. Simply learn a lot from him. Just watching him, the way he plays, the way he focuses. We are witnessing a world-class player in the making, guys. That's also one of the things Rook b8 played. I thought that was the most human way because you had these two knights and pawns. f6 king f7 was there, but okay, Rook b8 makes sense. What happens if it's a draw? If it's a draw, then we go into Blitz and Armageddon. Magnus smiling. Why? Let's look at Magnus's game. Why is he smiling? Well, because it's winning. He's exchange up. He's getting the other rook in. Okay, Hans has some attack. It looks like that, but I mean, this is controlled and it's lost. Bishop g3 by Anish. Attacking the rook. I'll be actually honest with you guys. I feel that against a player like Anish, this game is closer to a draw than win for Pragg. That's what I feel. But then, like for a player like Pragg, I feel like he is also amazing in such technical positions. So it's not easy to decide. Yeah, Anish likes to, he's just very, very solid. Knight a4. Pragg tricky with his knights. By the way, Niemann loses to Pragg. And look at there. Niemann loses to Magnus. And Magnus in the end having that expression. I don't know what. Maybe Niemann told him something that came as a surprise. But a good fight by Hans. After beating Magnus in game 1, Magnus was like, "Bhai, aisa nahi chalega." He came back and smashed 3 games in a row. By the way, love the way Anish is really into it. He played what? Once again. Rook b3, knight f2, knight a4, king f1, knight c3. Attacking the rook. Rook a1, king h7. Okay. He's bringing his king from here. Time wise, Pragg is, yeah, I think Anish has maintained his time well. 4 minute lead on the clock. Pragg has to speed up a bit. What is your instinct saying, guys? Good idea to exchange rooks, Aditya? No. I think the moment the rooks are traded, let's say just for an example, you play king e1, just as an example, rook check. This becomes closer to a draw because the king feels safer. With the rooks, let's say rook b2, suddenly I have check here, I have knight coming in, the other maybe d3, knight d4, your king is under trouble. So for now, not to trade the rooks. It can be kept in your hand whenever you want to at the right moment, but now is not the moment. Bishop d6. Okay, let's. Pragg finds knight d5 once again. Amazing chess. Amazing move. Because he wants to play knight e3 check. Soham Pandya says Pragg will win for sure. Trust in our boy. Yeah, yeah. King g1. Let's go knight e3. He goes king g6. Activates the king. And now Anish has to decide what to do. For Anish actually to play this position is even harder than Pragg, yeah? Yes, you must put your rook here. It's a very good place to keep your rook, keeping the king cut off. Vaibhav Savla, thank you for your super chat. He says, loved the coverage of the chess Olympiad. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Very kind of you. Rook e1. Okay, I think Anish is setting up a small trap. If you do this, boom, check, and you lose the rook. Of course, Pragg doesn't do that. But then what does Pragg do? Pragg goes h5. I think on one hand he's just stopped knight g4 for now. It's a good idea to play this h5 move. Bishop e5. But what if if f6, then this knight gets a little looser. I think put the knight here and then get your king in. And not to be worried about takes because the knight is defended by the rook. So bishop e5 played. Pragnananda, can he manage to beat Anish here? He's very close, but he was close on the previous game as well in that rook end game. Anish managed to hold it. Yes, Pragg has nice move. Pragg again finds a good move. And you see how he has managed to stop knight g4 to exchange this knight. And also if knight d1, there is rook b1. Pragg swiveling in his chair, enjoying himself. and Anish plays his knight up to e4. Okay. Engine evaluation is just going higher and higher. Engine evaluation at this point is +5 for Pragg. I don't see it as so high. I don't think players also feel it as so high. It reminds me of Anish's point there that engines are now evaluating certain things really too high for normal chess players. Donkey says, Dear Sagar, do you prefer to travel to tournament or stream from home? I think when I streamed a lot from home, I loved going to a tournament and streaming. Now that I have done 2 events from outside home, that is Deathmatch and Olympiad, I'm enjoying this a lot because I just love the fact that I have my 2 screens here. I love the fact that I have my mic here, which unfortunately didn't work. I just love the setup that I have, the chair, the curtain behind, and all of it. Inferno says, Hello Sagar bhai, Olympiad and Deathmatch was epic. Thank you, Inferno. Thank you so much. पर दोस्तों, do you think Pragg will win? Let's put a quick poll. We have around 5,000 people here. I want to know like each one of your thoughts. Will it be a draw or do you think Pragg will win this? Knight f2. I think Anish wanted to go to g4 and so Pragg went knight c4. And I think he's blundered here. Maybe not a blunder, but a very interesting move now for Anish. And he has time to figure it out. No, he doesn't have time. He has just 2 minutes. The move is to take, and do this. I think it's very difficult to play this. Yeah, that's why he went bishop h2 straight away. And it was not clear that this was already, working also. Like bishop d4, knight d4, rook e4. There was knight f3, gf3, and then knight d2 attacking here and here. So that already sort of doesn't make you so confident to play it. Bishop h2, Pragg is like, chalo, time to push. Knight e4, the final front. So the pawn is like, यूं ही चला चल रही, यूं ही चला चल रही. Now the last frontier. Who's going to take out? So rook d3 played. Very interesting. Generally, I'm very scared of such pawns because the white king can come and stop it. But here after king f2, I think... Can I go like knight d4 or let's say f5 first? Yeah, makes sense. He's attacking here. And the knight has to move. Where? Where do you move with the knight? Ooh, it's trapped. Ooh. Boy, oh boy. Knight is trapped. Okay, let's go knight f2. But then rook e3. Threatening rook e1. So king f1. Tanmay bhai, Sagar bhai, who do you think is stronger? Gukesh, Pragg, Raunak, Nihal. Tanmay bhai, luckily in chess there is a rating, FIDE rating. and that shows who's strong at the moment. But I have a very big feeling that they are all very well sort of, as I said just now, classical chess, Gukesh, yeah. Rapid chess in this format, no one comes close to Pragg. I mean, he's just beating players like Anish, yesterday Firuza. He's beaten Magnus. F5, good move. Knight F2. He just needs to get this last rook out from here. But how is the question? I guess knight b2, but okay, there is a rook hanging, so we need to first save it. And if you go back, then I have king e2. And फिर ये pawn पे और pressure. So you can't then go knight b2. Like let's say rook back, king e2, knight यहाँ गया तो फिर ये मर रहा है pawn. So you have to be careful. But Tanmay bhai, you must be proud of Gukesh. The way he played at the Olympiad. King Slayer. Rook a1. And now let's get the other knight in. It's very tricky for the defender to defend, but it's also very tricky for Pragg to finish this off. But you can see like Pragg enjoying himself. Yeah, he has no real nerves there. He's just very, very confident. And Anish, just these little acts that you do, slowly rubbing your face. You're not sure anymore, like knight e3, king e2. But what's Pragg doing? His knight is hanging. What is his plan? Why did he play that? Oh, does he want to sack and go check? King here, check, and then a fork. Oof. Oof, he's going to play that. He's going to give this check in. But then, oh, he can even take this. By the way, he can take this. Why not? But this rook g1 business, I don't like it. And with Pragg running low on time, he has 13 seconds. This might not look so good. He goes check. Knight d4. Can Pragg play accurately? King d2 played by Anish. Knight b3. Check. King a3. Knight a1. Exchange up. How possible is it to win this? Knight d3. Is it going to be technical difficulties for Anish to win? For Pragg to win. Or maybe he does it smoothly. Let's see. He already beat Javokir Sindarov in the Olympiad in Rook versus Bishop endgame. Has to do it one more time here. I think he's playing okay, guys. This position is technically winning. You have to play it a little calmly. You don't have to exchange too many pawns. You want to play g5, g4. You have to time it well because in the end you are going to exchange of two pairs of pawns. So if you remove all the pawns from the board, by the way, it's a draw. It's only because of these pawns that later on the rook can enter from here and threaten these pawns that white is lost. No, he won't repeat, guys. Come on. Pragg will never repeat in such a position. He will go on for another 1 hour. Knight d3. Check. Knight e6. And he will play his pawn to g5. Okay, f4 played by Anish. You can literally sense Anish feeling like this bishop, yeah, just boxed in. He wants to get out from here. Let's go rook a3. The move that will be really haunting Anish somewhere in his head is the opening where he just missed when he played rook d3. This move, rook c2. Boom, it came like out of nowhere. And if you take here, you are losing this and then this pawn. So, and then he lost a pawn, and now that has trickled over to losing an exchange then. And we have reached this position. What does our chat think? Can Pragg win this position? What? 91% think yes. 9% think no. Amazing. Amazing. Bishop to e3. In such games, when you have to win, you have to find a weakness in your opponent's camp and sort of mount on it. So let's say if you identify g2 as a weakness because you can't push the pawn, black pawn is there and there's opposition. Then you have to somehow figure out a way how you're going to attack it once and then use this knight again to attack it twice. So knight comes to e5. Knight to d3. You see, Pragg has actually identified perhaps this pawn as the weakness. He goes knight c7. Okay, knight comes in. Abhi to filal Anish is holding on, holding tight. But something will give way at some point. This knight is actually beautifully positioned, controlling these squares. But you can also say that this bishop is controlling all the squares that the knight can go to. Rook a2, knight king e1. He goes knight f6. Ooh, Pragg. Pragg going to e4. e4, where his knight will be beautifully positioned, attacking the bishop and the g2 pawn. Now, once again, Anish has to find a way to defend. He goes knight f2. Okay, knight e4, take. Do you think that's winning? I think so. I think that's winning. He plays it. Good move. When ahead in material exchange. Because now you can go like boom, boom from there. No, this is done. Knight e4. Good move. Take, pawn takes. Okay. King e2 maybe. Look at this endgame, yeah. King e2, okay. King g6, king e3. Take this. Take, king f5. Now attacking this pawn, you play here. And now what's that one little move that I have which gives me the win? That one little waiting move that I have. You all see it, don't you? G6. Absolutely. Samay bhai in the chat. Hello, Samay bhai. So nice to see you. G6, and it's over. This pawn falls. So he plays pawn to F5. Rook B2, waiting move by Pragg. I think what Pragg is doing is that here Anish has kind of cut off all the squares for the black king. And so with Rook B2, actually this is also winning. He goes Rook B2, King E2. The easiest way now, by the way, I don't think Pragg calculated it, but the easiest way was this, to win this pawn and win. But Pragg goes Rook B5 and he says to himself, I'm going to win this pawn and then I'm winning. Can you go King E3, Rook F5, King E4 and Rook F2, attacking here and it's over. Bishop to C3. Just take this, but then take, and if bishop G7, play Rook G5 and then take this and then check and then take this. All good. Rook G5 now. Plays it, attacks here, takes here. Is this actually going to that endgame of Sindarov? Remember guys, that if let's say I put my bishop here, check, King E3, check, King E4, Rook H3. The main problem is that if the king comes somewhere here and the bishop here, it's a draw. This position is a draw. But the fact that he's cut him off, next move is coming in, it's not no problem because he's pushed the pawn below the 5th rank. This is a draw if the king was back here with the bishop. But with this, he's winning. And Pragg's bottle is out, of course. He's drinking his water there. Samai says, don't worry guys, Pragg has calculated everything including his prize money after tax. Same thing has happened. Check. You know, with these youngsters, you feel so confident, no, that they have everything covered. Like, we don't even feel the tension. King F4. Now just Rook A3. Yeah, Rook B3. And then, by rank cutoff जो रहता है ना दोस्तों, you might know about file cutoff. Like if the rook is here, the king is cut off from the file. But rank cutoffs are often so powerful because the pawn just goes through and the king can't do anything about it. Bishop F2, push. Bishop G3. Bishop G3, maybe wait. Maybe wait. Or just Rook B2 with the idea of H2, H1. Can't stop it. I think it's time to resign. You can go here, no? Now Rook B2, threatening H2. And if King G3, Rook G2 check and pick up the bishop. Yeah, he's done it. Resign. Anish Giri has to resign. Pragg knows he's winning. He's calculated everything here. What a big win. Anish removes his headphones there. So does Pragg. Match is over. Pragnananda beats Anish Giri. Will they shake hands there because they're at the same venue? Not really. Not really. Pragg there moves out. Anish tremendously upset there. But Pragg scores his second match victory in this tournament after beating Alireza Firuza yesterday. He beats Anish Giri with the black pieces. That's really tough. And Anish can't believe that he blundered that move, Rook D3. But I think, guys, hats off to Pragg. I think we should have Pragg OP in the chat, because after he played this move Rook C2, which was a deflection from the defense of this Rook, he really didn't give Anish any chance in this game. And this just goes to show how strong he is, how strong Pragg is. He's just not giving his opponent any chance. Like, he brought his pawn to d4, then moved away with his knights, brought his king in, then fixed this structure here with h4. Very important to fix this structure. And then pawn moved forward. And then in the end, some firework tactics with the knights. These knights are always so tricky. Won the rook, and it seemed like there was still some technical effort to be done, but somehow Pragg managed it excellently. He, ये देखो, ये square knight को इधर चाहिए. So look what Pragg did. He first brought his knight from c7 to d5 to f6 to e4, and then he traded off, and finally he won this without much difficulties. Rank cutoff was very powerful. h2 incoming, and he resigned. Anish fought hard, but guys, Pragg was the winner today. So Pragg wins, and he's actually leading the tournament with Magnus Carlsen. And what about Duda and Aronian? They drew, so they'll go into the Armageddon. Okay, great big day, guys. Congratulations to Pragg. On that note, let me just remind you of this FTX Pragnananda scholarship that we have here. It is going to be for one talented youngster, or maybe we'll choose more than one, who will receive this amount of 1.5 lakh rupees. All you have to do is click on the links in the pinned message or in the description and just sign up there and get your free FTX crypto key, which will help you to get many more things, many more perks, and it's absolutely free. So please do that, and please do support this initiative. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Everyone, we had close to 6,000 people watching this at 1:30 in the midnight, which is kind of huge. And I think it was Ashish Singh says baby's day out. because Anish had made this tweet, that I'm going to babysit Pragg for the next 3 hours. And yeah, nice match. Tomorrow I'll see you all again at 9:30. Until then, see you all. Thank you. Bye bye. Shubh Ratri. Good night.